Dancing to my own theme music, 'cause that's the way I go. Okay. Oof. Okay. Ready to go. Alright, I got my phone in my pocket and it's awkward to get out while sitting down. It's really mostly in case Aidsy texts me. Maybe I should text him, in fact. I don't know. We'll see. Let it go for a while. See what people think. If that's a thing I should do. Hello, Megalich. How are you this fine evening? I say that just as a general bit of glib meaninglessness. It's not necessarily a fine evening anywhere. It's cooling down here. Now, okay, just for some scintillating content. Weather cooling down a little overnight. Ooh, Sunday really cool overnight. That's going to be noticeable. Mid to high teens predicted for the next week. Well, honestly, the weather predictions second half of this week have been volatile and they've been changing a lot. So I kind of don't believe any of those weather predictions for next week. They could easily change again. My Manhattan on the rocks, which is not how you have a Manhattan. Oh, and it just really picks up the smoky, oaky notes from the barrel. It's quite nice. Need to dilute it. Micro, what's happening? I don't know if that's a coincidence. I actually did a YouTube short on that today. And what I particularly focused on is CNN ran a story with their health person saying, don't cook chicken in NyQuil. So I'm like, hey, Trumpies, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You always say you do the opposite of what CNN says. They say, don't cook your chicken in NyQuil. What are you going to do? Justin, mourn the Queen, having lunch with a friend, chilling out. I mourn the Queen by taking it way fucking. Actually, I made 2 short videos. There's a bit of fucking around. That's not very difficult though. They're both like 30-second videos. One for the Angry Aussie channel, one for my cocktail channel. And then I watch shit on TV. I watched Thor: Love and Thunder, which was entertaining. Not as good as Ragnarok, but entertaining. Absolutely the strangest bit of that movie, Russell Crowe as Thor. Absolutely just, but okay, Rusty, sure. That's one way to play an old Greek god. Absolutely. So yeah, that was a thing that happened in the viewing today. I just chilled out. I watched one episode of an animated series that's on Disney Plus, one of the Disney Plus channels, I don't know, that's upset religious fuckheads in America. This is going to be banned. It's called Little Demon, I think. There's this girl who's the spawn of Satan and an Earth woman, and I think Satan views her as the Antichrist. It was okay. I might watch some more of it. Getting ready to leave for work, pouring down. God damn. Well, that sucks. Going to work in brain sucks. Going to work in the dark sucks. Oh, I like that. Megalith DeSantis might be held accountable for the Martha's Vineyard immigrant stunt. For those who missed it, he herded a bunch of asylum seekers onto a plane and sent them to Martha's Vineyard, a wealthy area where the people, I think, are mostly Democrat or something. His defense is likened to luring children into a van with candy. Yeah, but it's just like held accountable. How is all I'd say. What are they going to do? Send him to prison? These fucking idiots just do this ridiculous shit with impunity. Work tomorrow, working from home. Well, that's okay. Mrs. Angry had to work today, work from home, but she had to work. She had to do stuff. I didn't. I fucking chilled out. And I'll do more of that tomorrow. And yeah, I've got not much on. Class action lawsuit. Well, I would be absolutely interested to see what happens with it. The lightning's helping with the darkness. That sounds like just a shitty morning. Sounds, yeah, that is not good. I think this liter of Manhattan is going to last a long time. I might actually put a little bit of water in it. That's one thing I didn't do. Normally, you would get some dilution with a Manhattan because you would stir it on ice. And I was going to do that, but it like totally filled up the bottle that I poured it into. But now I've had some, there's space. I might top that up with water to get the simulated stirring with ice dilution. Because I'm keeping it in the fridge because it's got the vermouth in it. Oh. Justin First King's birthday public holiday. Well, that's all. You shouldn't be sorry about the draft. For those, okay, most people, probably everyone doesn't know what that's about. Nasalt left a series of long comments on YouTube. That's not something to apologize for. I really appreciate it. Just expressing yourself in vino veritas, as the saying goes. Yeah, I tend to holidays related to the monarchy. Said it before and said it again. If I was still a contractor, I'd be really fucking pissed off about today because all that would mean as a contractor is losing a day's pay. So fuck that. But since the financial year, I'm not a contractor, I'm a permanent employee. So yeah, random created holiday works for me. So yeah, I'm going to be gearing up in the next year for my first paid holiday in Thurkin forever. So it's a tough thing with being a contractor. The pay structure and whatnot is meant to accommodate for you'll have to take some days off for being sick, and you should take days off to have a holiday. And which, I try to, and I did several times, but when you're a contractor, it's really hard to calculate. It's not just like, particularly if you travel internationally, it's not just the flights and the accommodation and the whatever. It's like every day you're not at work, you just like, okay, this holiday cost me another X dollars. And that can be a little difficult to break out of that mentality. Today's holiday, Megaleech, it's a one-off. Anthony Albanese decided we all needed a day off to mourn the Queen, which is stupid. And I mean stupid as fuck. I'll take it, though. I'll get paid. I'll take it. Justin, how's being permanent? It takes away sort of background stress that's always there. My big plan is slide into retirement now. So, because I'm an old man, I've got to be thinking about my retirement. Because that's a thing, assuming we don't have a complete societal collapse in the next 10 years, 50-50, I'd give it. Complete societal collapse. And so, hopefully that doesn't happen. I'm just saying, hopefully that doesn't happen. And then I'll get to retire in 10 or 15 years, whatever the fuck. Well, Justin, we have to contribute to super. Oh, you mean if I've been paying? No, I haven't been paying extra into super because it was really clear during the tenure of the last Liberal government, it was their intention to destroy the superannuation system. So I was like, I'm not paying any extra into it if these motherfuckers are just going to destroy it. And let their fucking cronies take all my money with fees and whatnot. Like in all seriousness, I think if they had won the last federal election, they almost definitely would have completely destroyed the superannuation system in this term. It was very clearly an intention of theirs. But yes, I don't know. I'm like everyone looking at society the way it is. I'm looking at why plan for retirement when we're facing the high probability of complete societal collapse, or failing that, maybe I'll win lotto. Who knows? Maybe I'll buy a lotto ticket. That might happen too. Helly and hello, Kirsten. Thank you for dropping by for a minute. It's always lovely to see you. I hope you're doing well. The fact you're popping by for a minute makes me think that maybe you've got a lot on and you're really stressed. But very nice of you to drop in and say hello. So hello. You just caught me talking about why retire when society is just going to collapse. Maybe not. Stress cleaning the house. Okay. Well, you can keep us on in the background if you like. Or you don't have to. We can have conversation going while you stress clean the house. I don't get that stressed. I want to clean. You remember back in the shared house days, there was one shared house where once or twice a year, other people, not me, other people would do a bunch of speed and then spend 6 hours like just thoroughly cleaning the house while on speed. Terrible behavior. Never condoned it. Obviously didn't take part in it myself. It was just happening around me. Oh, okay. No, that makes perfect sense. Your mum's coming, hence stress cleaning. That makes absolutely perfect sense. So if you keep us on in the background, I'll just say the occasional encouraging thing like, great work, Kirsten, doing awesome on the cleaning. Your mum's going to be very happy. Deep cleaning the fridge. Nice. It's probably one of the areas of my house that least need deep cleaning. So what needs more cleaning than the fridge? Everything else. I'm not saying we live in filth, but Justin, a number of years ago, parents put a sum of money into super. Nice. Go parents. Okay, that's one I should do. That is absolutely one I should do. The cutlery drawer. I think I'm making stuff filthy as soon as I take it out of the dishwasher by putting it back in the cutlery drawer. That's one I should definitely do. Oh no. I'd made some burritos this evening and I was trying to get them out of the tray that I'd baked them in. And just put on a plate, a bit of the filling sort of rolled out the end of one of the burritos and hit the floor. And in fact, like Mimsy was just down at my feet and it went doosh, and it kind of landed like right next to her like a bum, and a bit of it got on her tail. She didn't react at all. Like I thought just the impact would make her go, and then she'd realize it was food and eat it, but she didn't realize it at all. Megali, she was happier earlier because I was chopping up chicken for another meal. I was preparing it, like marinating, and there was thighs, there was a lot of fat on it, and I trimmed a bunch of it and gave it to Mimsy. And Ray's up, how you doing? It's an endless cycle, Justin. Liberals fuck shit up. Labor fixes it. Liberals run a campaign talking about being good economic managers. All objective evidence says the opposite. But the media just fucking cheerlead them. It's terrible. Okay, Kirsten, getting back to it. Continue in your mighty quest of cleaning for your mum. Okay. So first drink in 15 minutes. Raise. Maybe I'm naive. I will say this: the Labour Party's interests are not my interests. The Labour Party is going to look after a whole cavalcade of interests before they get to me. I do not. I understand the impulse. I absolutely understand the impulse to say they're both as bad as each other. I don't actually believe that's true. But Labor certainly fucks around enough to alienate people and make it very easy to feel and say there's no difference between them. God, at least we're not in the US. The fucking Democrats there fucking suck. I would lose heart completely if I was an American. Yeah, I think Labor's not as bad as the Democrats or UK Labor. UK Labor fucking sucks. There was that moment where things could have been good, Jeremy Corbyn, but the more conservative elements in the Labor Party aggressively sabotaged Corbyn, because despite how popular Corbyn and his proposals were with a significant number of potential Labor voters, the more conservative elements in the Labor Party were freaked out at the idea that this socialist's going to go and do socialisms. And they actively undermined him and destroyed his chances of being Prime Minister. I was extremely disappointed in that. So, Ray, you're going back to the US. Government's a mess, but people more friendly. Well, I'm glad that you have a good time with the people. I mean, that's important. That's very important. I understand going there for your girlfriend. That makes perfect sense as well. I have no real desire to leave Australia. And yes, Justin, I did see Trump saying dumb shit about Biden having a bad seat at the Queen's funeral. Also, I did see a little bit of an interview we did on Fox News where he's trying to justify the whole classified documents thing. And I think the stress is getting to Trump. Either that or his brain is turning to pudding, or a little from column A, a little from column B, because he was just making no sense. Even by Trump standards, he was making no sense. He was very much sounding like someone who is well aware he's fucked, and he's just trying to appeal to the lunatic fringe still. It's ridiculous. That's an interesting one, Rays. You'd shift to Sweden in a heartbeat if you could. I'd have to do intensive language training because I would not move. And I know they speak multiple languages in Sweden. I would not go there without being fluent in the main language. I think that would be just not something I would do. All right. Okay. You know what? Fucking long weekend. I'm probably getting smashed tonight. We'll go from a Manhattan to a martini. 2 ingredient classics. Well, 2 ingredients plus bitters. In a martini glass. Martini glass. Cause I'm a classy motherfucker. And we're gonna do a freezer martini. First taste of this particular blend, because it's an infinity martini. Ooh, wait, we don't want that to happen. Something just fell over in the freezer that I didn't want to fall over. Okay. Do-wah. Tell me I saw Celtic sing Clap Your Hands If You Hate the Queen through the Minute Clap Memorial. I did not, but I love them. I did see an Irish football crowd. I think it was the day her death was announced or the day after. And the whole stadium's singing this chant, "Lucy's in a box, Lucy's in a box." Bless the Irish. God, oh my God! It's receding into the distance now, but the amount of fucking cringe, absolute, no holds barred cringe that went on with old Betty Caboodle-Schnitzer popping her clogs. Fuck me. Anyway, I'm gonna taste this batch of the freezer martini. Oh, yum, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm liking that. All right. That is pretty good. Pretty strong. You know what? I want someone to invent something that you like dip into a liquid and it instantly tells you the alcohol content. Even if it was only approximate, like litmus paper. Do you remember litmus paper from high school? Measuring whether something's acid or alkaline, the paper would turn particular colors, and then you'd have a chart of the spectrum of colors it could turn, and you hold a piece of paper up and you go, it's this much acid or this much alkaline. I just like an equivalent of that. Something really easy that you just go bing, and it told you the alcohol content. I know you can get what's called a spectrometer, and I'm not sure exactly how it works, but it's got to do with the way alcohol refracts light. And it's like if you're brewing or distilling, you use a spectrometer to get an accurate measure of the alcohol content of what's in there. And you can, because you get home brewing kits and home distilling kits, you can get a spectrometer to use at home. It just seems like too much fucking problem. I mean, you know, with all that technology, why can't you just get something? Like I said, you like dip it in the drink and it goes and tells you that. And that would also stop some fucky behavior you get in bars. Like you occasionally see articles talking about problems with drink spiking, and it is a problem. Creepy motherfuckers. It is normally, it's not limited to, but it is normally a guy dropping something into a girl's drink to incapacitate them so they can assault them. Another thing that is basically drink spiking is guys buying drinks for a girl and it's much higher alcohol content than they're letting in. Like, you know, they get a vodka soda and they say, make it a double or a triple or fucking whatever. And just creepy, criminal behavior. And it would be very nice if you had something that you could and it just go like, yeah, okay, that's 4 standard drinks. So fucko there is trying something. Like you cut finger, the louder you scream, the more alcohol. Alcohol is definitely very stingy in cuts. I'm not sure, you maybe hit a threshold at some point. Like that's the most pain you can feel from alcohol getting into a cut. Yeah. Megalith, she sent me a link. Ooh, nice. Let me check. Oh, I swear to God, I would like to get every person in the media who's written stupid, sycophantic puff pieces on the Royals, just push them into a wood chipper in Minecraft. Adorable photos of King Charles. Shows he's just a regular grandpa. Get fucked. Honestly. Oh, hate that sort of shit so fucking much. Makes me angry, boy. Okay, so Megaleech sent me a link to something called an alcohol meter. What does it do? Alcohol beverages analyzed at the push of a button. Reliably, accurately determine alcohol content. Beer mixtures, wine, cider, spirits, liqueurs, fermenting grape juice, wort, molasses, and wash. Variety of the alcohol meter portfolio, ranging from portable instruments for quick checks to our lab systems for outstanding accuracy. Oh, get in touch. Jesus, that makes it sound like they're really fucking expensive. Okay, handhold alcohol meter. Holy fucking balls. Okay, that looks like the cheapest one, and it's $2,200. Jesus, see, okay. I also mean something that costs less than $2,200 as well. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Just a quick, you know, I just think science. That should be something we could do. Yes. Nassau, that turned out to be true. Over $2,000. Justin, if you have 2 schooners filling the alcohol. No, 2 schooners. That's 2 schooners puts you over the legal limit. Anyone who says they don't. Okay, and I mean like depends how quickly you drink them, but let's say half an hour. I don't think it's at all outlandish to drink 2 schooners in half an hour. But 2 schooners in an hour will put you over the legal limit. And yeah, you feel it. Maybe not in a big way, but you feel it. Okay, don't me they went to a refractometer for a mere $500 and $600 with GST. Yeah, okay. Yes, again, $600 is about, let's say, $550 more than I want to spend on it. That's the other thing. It shouldn't be that expensive. That's my view of science. Yeah, no, Justin, the plus a meal doesn't really come into it. But yeah, like 2 schooners in half an hour, you definitely feel it. 2 schooners in 1 hour, you will be over the legal limit. Unless it's light beer. Oh, is that at work, Kirsten? 2 Snap 51 Anton bars. I mean, yes, you have the real shit, $10,000 each. I love that when I mention stuff, more often than not, Megaleech will just go, you know what? I'm finding that I'm going on Google and finding that. What's this one? Oh, eBay. I also don't particularly trust eBay. Wow, $22. Professional handhold alcohol test refractometer, wine beer test meter. Now, that sounds like it's only for wine and beer. And again, yeah, refractometers, cool. They give you a thing. They're also slightly more trouble than I want to go to. Oh, okay. Very happy with my freezer martini at the moment. Okay, you went to the trouble and read it. It says for whiskey, brandy, fruit brandy, all those things. Okay. Yes, okay. So here's the thing, Megaleech. I know you are reading from eBay. I've already said I don't trust eBay. And Kirsten, who actually knows the biz, says refractometers can't be used for spirits. So I fear we've fallen into that most implausible of situations, someone on eBay lying. Yes. So, yeah. But I come back to, I will not be satisfied with science until someone, I want something really cheap, like I said, like litmus paper. You dip it in and it changes color, and then you compare that to a chart and it'll tell you the alcohol content. I disdain science until science produces that for me. Also, it needs to be cheap. So until this exists, I just feel like science is failing me. So I need to find religion because science is failing me. Ooh, finding religion. I got more really silly bullshit from Jimmy Swaggart Ministries. And don't panic. That's just my, you can't even see it. It's too bright. But that's just my post box on there. There's the declaration. What's this worth? 50 cents. I think they're overstating the value myself. Oh, neat. Kirsten, how long has your freezer martini been going? As I say periodically, I'm quite disappointed I didn't note when I started this one, because I think it's been going for over a year. It's my second freezer martini since lockdown started. I actually completely emptied it once, which speaks to the mood I was in at that point, and then started a new one. But that's only my second infinity freezer martini since COVID started. Ooh, an autobiography by Jimmy Swaggart for a mere $20. It's all about Jesus. That guy's a sex offender. Oh, nice. You make little bottles. Oh, like single serve freezer martinis. Nice. I like that. Happy birthday, Pastor Gabe. What are the headings? The power of anointed music. That sounds like witchcraft. The boys from Faraday. Sweet hour of prayer. My pastor preaches on Sunday mornings in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. Is this okay? The Lord cares very much about what his children wear, especially to those called to ministry. Books. Well, their books look boring. It's all about Jesus. Book of Revelations. Cool. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, a two-cert. Nice. Oh, yeah. I just keep mine in the body of the freezer. You might recognize this bottle. I think that's an Applewood distillery bottle. I haven't had anything from Applewood for a while. All right. Names of Christian music songs. Hear my heart. Your cries have awoken the master. Okay, that just sounds like the title of a porno. Our God saves. On the blood. I am blessed. Every praise. Every time I speak his name. Waymaker. Your blood. People need the Lord. Praising the King of Kings by Randy Knaps. Taking it back. Break every chain. Oh, I need him. Again, that also sounds like porn. Praising King of Kings. This train. I just wanted you to know. Lift him up on high. I've been broken. Also sounds like porn. Jesus, he's more than just all right. I don't know why I find that one funny, but it's funny. Oh, hell to the yes. Kirsten, the people who put this out, Jimmy Swaggart Ministries, they're spawn of Satan. They're abusers. They're terrible. I Choose Christ by Kim Coleman, her tracks. I choose Christ. Only the blood. Pray now. But what a name. Breathe on me, Jesus. Okay, that's a bit fucking weird. I'm putting it out there. That's a bit fucking weird. We'll soon be done with troubles and trials. That actually sounds depressing. That sounds suicidal. The River. Whenever I hear his name, there's somebody out there. So most of those sound like horror movie titles, actually. Neat. Dr. Abigail, both can happen. You can come on the stream and vent, but before, you can food. The choice is yours. The choice is yours, Dr. Abigail. You go get some food. Sinner's Prayer by Brian Haney. Touch the hem of his garment. Lord, prepare me. Help my unbelief. The Battle of Jericho. I have a friend. Well, that's just boasting. Strong like Samson. Sinner's Prayer. People Get Ready. Mountain Mover. Carry Me Away. For some reason, I just find the titles of Christian music songs entertaining. The answer for all anxiety. Drink lots of alcohol. Well, I, for one, am shocked. Jimmy Swaggart Ministries are preaching alcohol and drugs as the answer to anxiety. But there you go. That's their official position. Perfect Bible for any young child. You mean something that's not actually the Bible. Ooh, all their TV and radio stuff. Jesus, they do a lot. Color me a Bible story. My prayer for FWC. What is FWC? God, they have lots of music. Hey, Chris, eating ramen. Cheers. Should be read Mexican Jesus. Sounds like a Mexican BDSM prawn. Yeah. Oh. Leaders of Liberty. Donnie Swaggart's newest book. They don't believe in liberty. Letters. Receiving your healing. The repression of revelation. Christians and politics. No, thank you. The gifts of the Holy Spirit needed today. I don't know. If it's a bottle of whiskey, I'll take the gift. The call of a youth parish pastor. Yep, not kiddly fiddlers. Not at all. Wow, there were lots of Christian music albums in that, actually. Vaguely bothers you. Cocktails are visible on my shirt. Yes, no, it bothers me a little too, actually. It really does. But look, see, it's the design. These ones are right side up. And so are those ones. It bothers me as well, I'll be honest. Mac and cheese and now Tim Tams. Excellent. Spaghetti carbonara sandwich. Nice. As I mentioned before, I had burritos. I made burritos. They were good, actually. And then I did a huge poo just before the stream, and that cleared me out, so I should be clear and light and clean. Chris, no sweets on your diet. You're a stronger man than me. I did actually have some ice cream and a little pudding because I have no willpower. Well, actually, I have some willpower because I'm not snacking. I have basically not been snacking for, I haven't even been keeping track, 3 or 4 weeks, which I think is a positive thing. Oh, yes. Although Kirsten did the correction, I instantly read T Tams as Tim Tams. I have never, and I never will visit the site, rate my poo. But I did do a huge one today that I think would have scored well. Nice. That is true, Chris. Early weight loss tends to be water weight, but just positive habits. The weights aside thing, positive habits, because I know I was far too indulgent and ate far too much processed shit. Because it's immediate short-term gratification, tingle the taste buds, send the endorphins going in the brain. But it's not good for you. It's sick that we live in a society that produces things that are so fucking empty, and they set off all your pleasure centers, but they're actually bad for you. And there are sick motherfuckers running big multinational companies whose goal is to get you addicted to things that you register in the pleasure centers of your brain, but are ultimately very bad for you. Evil motherfuckers. I'm just saying, that's what they are. Bunch of evil motherfuckers. Okay, so as per usual, the religious book was boring, but I did enjoy reading the names of some of the songs from the Christian albums. And I could do some more because there were lots that I didn't read. Instrumental. Wow, okay, these are instrumentals, but they've gone to the trouble of giving them names. God took away my yesterdays. That sounds like a Black Mirror episode and is vaguely unsettling. Gone at last. Okay, that sounds bad too. How about your heart? What? Oh my God, this guy's okay. I was just going to, this guy's suicidal. God took away my yesterdays. Gone at last. How about your heart? Goodbye, world. Goodbye. The old rugged cross. Joy unspeakable. What a day that will be, which he has assumed the day he dies. He seems to be desperate for it. There's going to be a meeting in the air. He looked beyond my faults. My God, okay. Oof. Oof, that's chilling. That guy's fucking suicidal. My God, that was very off-putting. I need a calming sip of my martini. All right. Took half an hour to drink my martini. We better. Okay, got to decide. Speaking of the good book, the Bible, my Death and Co. book. Rum cocktails. The Amityville. Rum, white rum, blanc vermouth, absinthe, apple juice, acid phosphate. Okay, that sounds annoying. White rum, aged rum, Brakovka. I don't have that. Arak strap, blackstrap rum, Van Oosten, Batavia Arak, Koki vermouth de Torino, Campari. No, that's annoying. Well, see, that's Christians don't just want to die. You get the evangelicals; they want Armageddon. They're a fucking death cult. It's really disturbing. Bamboo. No, I said that right. It's not bamboo. It's bamboo. Rum, demerara syrup, vanilla syrup, bitters. Oh, that's a rum old fashioned, basically, but with a couple different syrups and a couple different bitters. Cobra Verde, Agricole Blanc, chamomile infused rye. Good lord. Yellow chartreuse and green chartreuse. I tell you what. That sounds interesting. It's not chamomile infused, but I feel like I want to try that. Oh God, Chris, the Armageddon ones are terrifying, and they're the ones that have sway in the Republican Party in the US at the moment. The fucking death cult that has been increasing its grip on the Republican Party since the 80s is super fucking disturbing. They started to rise in the 70s. They really started to get some power with Reagan. And the influence of this fucking death cult has just been growing ever since. You get people who are saying, like, you should be nice to them. Like, fuck no. Fuck no, we should not be nice to them. They're dangerous. Oh, yeah, see, Dr. Abigail, this is why you cannot talk to these evangelicals about the environment or climate change or whatever, because they literally want apocalypse. They will directly and clearly say, if God didn't want me to do this horrific polluting thing, God would stop me. The fact I'm able to do it means it's God's plan. You say I'm going to end the world. I say God wants to end the world so we can have Armageddon and the rapture. These people are a threat to our existence. They're that fucking bad. Ugh, they're just the fucking worst. Chris, you're watching For All Mankind on Apple TV. One character, a lot of evangelical votes. Republican Party win. Well, what was funny is Ronald Reagan got in on the evangelical vote, and then, particularly in his first term, mostly dumped them, but their influence just kept growing subsequently. said it in the 90s, came into power. Yeah, it's like they started getting power in Reagan, and it's just their grip on control in the Republican Party has just gone up and up. Now, Chris, you might take heart from this. The major conservative party in Australia, the Liberal Party, has a problem with fruitcake evangelical doomsday right wingers infiltrating and getting positions of power in their party, and these people, do not represent the views of the majority of conservative Australians, but they're getting increasing power in the major conservative party. But somewhat unlike the US, where they don't seem to have suffered much electorally, we are now seeing that is damaging the major conservative party electorally, where people just go, what the fuck is this nonsense? And I refuse to vote for you. And so conservative independents run and win. So there's slightly more room for hope in Australia. Heine, Hillsong is the fucking worst of that loony evangelical far right. Hillsong, any reasonable Christian would look at Hillsong and go, oh, those guys are actually demonic. They're terrible. And yes, Chris, our Conservative Party is the Liberal Party. Yes. But again, you would have seen this, Chris. Really weird reactionary conservatives in the US call themselves classical liberals. That's what our Conservative Party stood for. Their original sort of founding principles, mid-20th century, they did not consider themselves the Conservative Party. They literally considered themselves the Party of Freedom. It changed a bit over the years. Oh, Dr. Abigail, food. Okay, we all love it if Dr. Abigail vents, yeah? Let's go. Here's the link. Here's the link. A linky link. Linky link. So there's a link. Yum. Martini. What was the one I was going to make? Cobra Verde. Adaptation of the classic Diamondback. Combination of intense ingredients gives it extra bite. I'm fucking doing it. And here's Dr. Abigail. Hello, looking fabulous. Your microphone's not working. You gotta click some things. We'll have to see. No, still not hearing you. So I'll just keep up a complete commentary, and I won't stop rambling until I can hear you, because I can't hear you at the moment.
It was muted.
It was muted. Okay.
Yeah. Who knows why? I didn't mute it.
Have you put colour in your hair this week, or is that from a while back?
It's just I'm in a well-lit room.
Okay.
Usually I am not. I'm at Nettie's place.
Oh, and, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually I'm at home where the lighting is subdued somewhat.
Yes. That explains.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a bit of
my hair. I got a sort of
bit of makeup. I went out, and the only reason I wore makeup because I went to the chemist. That's why I wore makeup. That's what my life is now. Yeah, so I'm okay. Begin rant.
Do that. My stove is making weird noises. I'll let you rant while I go and fix it.
Okay. So I'm at Nettie's place. I am house sitting and looking after her pets while she and her daughter is in Queensland, which is fine. She's paying me for it, and she organized Uber to get me and my computer here, and that's fine. I agreed to do it. I shouldn't have, because I'm still getting over COVID, but it is what it is. And I'm on day 3, and I've recovered from getting here, and I had to go to the chemist today because I'd run out of one of my meds, my heartburn meds. So I got all ready to go, and because of my chronic fatigue, I've slipped back into nocturnal mode. So that's a thing. But I managed to get out the door with enough time to get to the chemist before it's shut. But it's a lot of effort. And I have to catch a tram, and the tram takes like half an hour. And it was full of kids and people shopping, because it goes down Victoria Parade, and there's a big shopping centre down there. And it's just a busy line, and the tram that goes down that way 100% of the time makes me motion sick. It's the worst. And so and the in the background, the past couple of days I've been here sitting on the couch, kind of just like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm just gonna hit up Reddit. Just like, all I had the energy for. Kate, Kirsten. It was the first of the new, like, newish white trams. I forget which class they are. The old trams, believe it or not, are way better for motion sickness because they are rock solid. That's why they're bone rattlers, because they do not move. They just like have no shock absorption. The old ones, they don't run anymore, but the Z class are sometimes on this line. They are perfect. They nailed it. They should have just stopped there, and that they are perfect. But now we've got like the E class. Okay, I guess there's more seating than the 109 line. Anyway, so I've been like sitting on this couch behind me. All I had the energy for the past 2 days was as well as my duties here, feeding cats and picking up dog poop, was watching YouTube and browsing Reddit. Like, I just had no energy after that. So of course I'm on Reddit. I make a few comments here and there, and just fucking Reddit fuckboys come out of the woodwork. It's exhausting.
They do that.
Like, it's
Yeah.
I mean, why? Like,
Oh, just that's how they are.
Anyway, so I'm on the tram, and I'm already exhausted, and I get off like a half an hour. I'm feeling a bit queasy. Got my headphones on. There've been kids and adults, and just I'm feeling claustrophobic. I get off the tram. Finally, I can like breathe a bit. I have to walk to the chemist to find it was closed all day.
Oh, shite.
Because of public holiday, and I'm just
shite.
Fuck. So I'm close to home, so I figure I'm just gonna go home. I left a bag of clothes at home. All I had here was just like this dress and a spare set of underwear. So, which is important, which is an important part of like a few
set of underwear is always important.
paragraphs later.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm close to home. It was part of the plan. I'll go home, get some clothes, make sure my son has been feeding watering my plants, which I told him was very important. He told me he was. So I wait for the tram. I go to the tram stop, and the next tram is like in 25 minutes.
Right.
And I'm, it's going to be quicker to walk home. And it is actually quicker to walk home from Smith Street, where my chemist is, to my place through the back streets of Fitzroy. But it's up a hill and it's just exhausting. But I'm not waiting for a tram for 25 minutes. That's messed up.
Yeah.
So I do it and I get home and I find my son has not watered any of my plants. I think my bonsai plant may have died.
Oh no.
My mint plant may die.
Ugh.
I water all my plants. Hopefully nothing dies. He gets home not 5 minutes after I get there.
Yeah.
And I just blast him like what the fuck, dude? You said and yeah. Okay, so tangent. Over the past couple of days, he's been at a friend of his. He has a friend who is trans masculine, 17-year-old trans boy, really, who is going through some hard times. And so my son and his mates are kind of looking after him and like making sure he's okay and doesn't end up in hospital or anything, just like mental health stuff. And it's really nice of him. They came over last week sometime and they were just hanging out and stuff. And when the first night I got here, I get a text message from my son, who may be a little bit drunk, saying that this dude, this 17-year-old boy, has a mad crush on me and wants my Insta. And I'm like, are you serious? Like what the hell? Why are you even dragging me into this?
Yeah.
And then he calls me and puts me on. Sorry, I didn't have to know any of this. He could have sorted the shit out by himself.
He could have just said no. Yes.
Yeah. But then he rings me up and fucking puts me on speakerphone with him there. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. What the hell? And I'm just like, okay, see you later. So anyway, yeah. So Will is enjoying my discomfort at this, the bastard. So today he gets home 5 minutes up while I'm watering plants, and his friend is there with him. And I'm just, well, this is just fucking awkward. And so I don't even get a chance to talk to him about that because he's there and in a precarious mental state and yeah. So fuck. So that happened. There's more. There's much more. So he leaves. He just came to pick up some stuff and drop some stuff off, and then he's got I blasted him about the plants, and he fed the cats, and he left, and I just sat back, enjoyed my chair at home for a bit, enjoyed my B-day at home for a bit. It's nothing like your own toilet, right? Especially when it wipes your butt for you.
Especially when you've got your recently acquired B-day action.
Yeah. Yeah. So I gathered up because I was just so exhausted at this point. But I had a couple of glasses of apple juice and got some clothes together, and I rested for like 10 minutes or so and got the energy up and walked to the tram, the 109, and I had some good music playing in my. I re-pieced my ears finally while I was having a
Nice.
break. Check this out. I finally
Ooh,
check
nice.
this out.
Is that a
Yeah, they're
flower or?
sterling silver. The camera doesn't do them justice, but they're like,
Oh, that's
sterling,
actually really nice. Now it's come into
aren't they?
focus. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really nice.
They're kind of stabbing my neck, but
Yeah,
oh
the
well.
thing coming out the back. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm so glad I finally re-pierced my ears. I've been meaning to do it for a while, so I just kind of just stabbed them.
Long times. The holes in my ear are still fairly obvious, but I haven't had anything in the ears. I remember my
Yeah.
housemate doing it once, just like going into the next room, in the bathroom, and you hear this small scream, like "Yeah!" And then he comes out and goes, "Did it?" And he's just going through the hole.
I used to have a labret here,
Ah,
and a ring as well. I had a
yeah,
ring first and then a labret, and that healed over once, and then I re-pierced it with a safety pin.
yeah,
One day I was at work and I was fidgeting, and I just like I had a safety pin in there, and just suddenly it went pop and through, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it's a hole now again.
yeah. It's a hole
Cool.
now.
Yeah. Um. So anyway, good tunes. I'm feeling better. I'm walking really slowly because that's all I can do, and I'm vibing it.
Yeah,
It's really chill.
yeah.
It's nighttime. I I wake up at night. I feel good at night. Um, there's a word for it.
Nocturnal.
I don't. Well, that yeah, but there's like a nyctophilia, or like a nightophilia or something, like an actual love of nighttime. It's not necrophilia. That's another one. That's
That's
that
but that
that
happen a
that
lot.
I
That
keep to
happens
my
in the
Reddit
dark a
pals.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. There's like someone who loves the night. Um, that's me. I wake up at nighttime. I kind of feel at home in the night. Um,
Yeah. Just
anyway,
thinking
so
Gary Oldman in Dracula, the children of the night, what delicious songs they sing.
and I get to the tram stop, and there's a crazy meth-addled person talking to himself and walking
Oh,
back and forward down the tram stop, and I'm like, oh
yeah.
no. And everyone's just standing there,
Mm.
just like not making eye contact. And I get on the tram, and he gets on the tram, and I'm just, oh, fuck, 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 fuck. So I can't listen to my music
Mm.
because I have to be aware of my surroundings now, just
Yeah.
in case. And I can't browse my phone because the tram gives me motion sickness. So I just have to kind of just stare out the window for half an hour while this aggressive tweaker is walking up and down the tram talking to himself nonstop.
Yeah.
And everyone is just like, "Hmm, okay." I wish there was a fucking police text line or some shit like that you could just text and say, please help, or like a social services kind of thing. Like,
Ideally,
I
yeah,
don't want
social
to get the
service,
police involved, but like
because
some
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
social services
yeah,
involved
yeah.
text line.
Yeah, we've told the story quite a few years ago now. I was with AZ on a tram, and a young woman was having a bit of an episode, and she was basically harassing and even assaulting people on the tram. And so everyone kind of
Yeah.
freaked out and left her on and moved back in the tram. And it left with like AZ and I were the first people in the seats facing her. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not moving. She comes over here.
Yeah.
All these some poor young guy got grabbed by her. She grabbed him by the throat and started screaming, "What the fuck did you do to me? What did you say?" And he's like, "What? What the?" And because it's just like, she was slapping and hitting men and women, and so everyone fucked
Wow.
off. Like, it took ages for the tram driver to do it, but eventually cops came. But yeah, I was with AZ going, "Yeah, man, I'm not moving. Fuck this shit." We're
Yeah.
the first line. If she comes up, she gets a warning. She gets like, no, sit down.
Yeah.
But anyway, then the cops came,
Well,
and this fun guy, he was. It was like two cops, and one of them's useless, and one was all business. And little Jimmy Nguyen, the copper, he was fucking awesome. This guy, he sounded Australian born, but he's Vietnamese from his name. His family's Vietnamese, and he was just no nonsense. And he was just like, okay, what's been happening? Yeah, you get, and he likes to his sidekick, take her off, okay, with the traffic island there, take her there, and he's like, okay, and at some point the other copper comes back, who must have been the junior, and old Jimmy's going, why is she not handcuffed? He's going, she didn't want me to do it. And you just get Jimmy just rolling his eyes and goes, ah. And he didn't do anything violent. He was just nervous. He just goes, and he just went to her, sit down. And she sat down. And he goes, put your hands behind your back. And she put her hands behind her back. And he goes,
nice.
now just wait, okay? Just wait. And because she was saying stuff like when she was hitting people, and they said, I'm going to call the cops, and she was just screaming, I'll have somewhere to sleep. If you call the cops, I'll have somewhere to sleep tonight. You go, okay, this is someone having a mental health episode. The health system has failed her, and she has literally just gone, if I cause a scene, someone will call the cops, and I'll at least have somewhere to sleep tonight. And we were just going, that's sad. She escalated to the point where we had to have the cops. I would love that there was a thing like social welfare 000, and someone who is not going to escalate with violence shows up. Again, our man Jimmy was never violent, but he was so absolutely
He was assertive. He was assertive.
He knows that she's doing attention-seeking stuff, and he just says, "Okay, sit down."
It sounded like that was exactly the type of cop that was needed in this situation.
Again,
someone who's not violent but assertive.
He's the best cop I've ever met, I think.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who knows his shit and also like doesn't escalate.
And his sidekick was a fucking loser. He goes to his sidekick, why is she not handcuffed? And the sidekick's going, she didn't want to. And Jimmy's just rolling his eyes going, fuck.
God.
And anyway, he's taking a statement from me and AZ, and he just goes, just wait a second. And then he just goes and sorts it. He was awesome. But anyway, your story.
So I finally get off the tram.
Yes.
He's still on the tram. He was on the tram the whole way.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he was going all the way to Box Hill, where the tram terminates. And so I get off the tram, and finally I can listen to some music for the very short walk to Nettie's place. And I get to Nettie's place, and the animals all meow and bark at me, but that's fine. I expected that. Yeah, feed me. So I feed them, and that the dog just like fucking inhales her food.
Dogs do that,
and then just watches the cats eat slowly and just creeps in and tries to steal their food. And so I have to keep fucking watch, like, to make sure she doesn't steal the cat's food. It's I don't know how Nettie does it twice a day. So finally have the cats fed, and I need to go to the bathroom again. I'm like, oh, that's odd. And turns out 2 days of sitting on a couch with one pair of underwear, UTI.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So half an hour on the toilet in pain. Fuck my life.
God damn
So
it.
yeah. So now I'm like just drinking a whole bunch of water and
Yeah, drink water. That's all you can
or
do.
Pepsi. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know how to deal with a UTI.
yeah.
But yeah, like I'm so glad I went home and got more clothes because that I like when I came up here, I was in such a state. I was so tired, and I'm glad
Mm.
Nettie came to help me bring stuff here because otherwise I couldn't have done it.
Yeah,
It
yeah. It's one of those things where you gotta.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was inevitable. I'd forget something, so just so happened
Yeah,
to be like almost all my clothes because I'm here for like a week. So yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
You need a few changes of clothes.
slash end rant.
That was an excellent rant. I really enjoyed it. And
Ah,
that's what it's all
it
about.
feels so good to get that out. Ah,
Nice. So like this from Kirsten.
okay.
Husband's brought her an emotional support water
Emotional
bottle. So
support water bottle.
that's
Nice.
pretty good. That is pretty good.
Nice. I've got emotional support Pepsi
Yeah, that helps.
and because I'm officially on a diet, emotional support cherry tomatoes. This is my
Oh,
dessert.
nice. Nice.
And I'm going to enjoy them because I love them so very much.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I've been cooking a lot of
Oh,
mushroom and
so good.
onion the
Oh,
last couple of days.
mm. These
Tomatoes were one thing Mrs. Ang had
mm,
to get me to like with tapping.
yeah,
ESP. And because I just grew up with just the worst eating habits. Like particularly as a kid, I ate like bread, cheese, and potato. And I'm not
wow.
joking. How I didn't
How
die,
how are
I'll
you
never know.
still alive and not
Yeah,
have bowel cancer?
how I didn't die, I'll never know. But I got to college, it's like my first serious girlfriend said, "Okay, let's kind of get you," and she was exceptionally good. "Let's do it a little bit at a time. I'm going to get you to do this pasta and this thing, and
Mm,
gradually, and then subsequent people have got me. And sometimes I've done it off my own back, going, I should try that. And whatnot. But Mrs. Angry did this thing with tapping. It's also known as EFT, which is fucking
yep.
wild, and it's useful for a variety of things. And she uses it as a psychologist. But with things like food and drink, and the weirdest thing, it works both with something you feel like you're addicted to that you can't stop consuming, and also
Yeah.
something that you think is super gross but is actually good for you, like fruit or veg or whatever. And
Okay. Does it
but
work with things like um just say you're like addicted to sucking lots of dick, for example? Just speaking
it
hypothetically, not
it
me,
has
not
it
me.
has the, no, I know it's not you. It, it has like literally any sort of compulsive behavior it can help you with, because there's part of your brain that is just telling you
Oh,
do the
so
thing.
it's
It
neuroplasticity.
basically is, and there's still not a good explanation for why it works, but it does broadly work. So it's basically there. Okay, you start, and again, this has worked both ways with I can't stop snacking. So I'm doing this thing where I
Mm,
need to stop. And also, I wasn't eating enough vegetables. And so we did this with what did we do it with? Onions, capsicum,
oh fuck, I love
celery,
onions. Celery.
tomatoes, and a whole bunch of stuff. And that got me to like eating it. And basically, you tap this part of your hand and you go, okay, my current thinking is this. I feel like this, and I'm okay with that. And I accept that's how I feel. And you do that mantra a couple of times, and then you tap, and they're like acupressure points, and you go, I can't stop eating chocolate. 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 And it's here, and it's here, and it's here, and it's here. and it's here. And okay, it makes no fucking sense whatsoever that
Sounds like
doing this
nerve
shit,
endings. You're like engaging
it is,
nerve
it's a
endings
nerve
or
ending
nerve
thing.
clusters.
And
Yeah.
it's because you're saying something, so you're basically doing a little mantra into your brain, and you're stimulating particular nerve endings while you do it. So it's stimulating particular brain
That
activity.
makes sense.
But the fucking weird thing is it works both ways. It's like, I need to stop
Yeah.
eating chips. I need to stop eating chips. I need to stop eating chips. Or I don't want to eat onion, but onion's good for me. I don't want to eat
Mm.
the fruit, and I don't want to eat carrots. Carrots are good for me. And it
Yeah.
works both with getting over a psychological block with eating something that's good for you, and it gets you past
Okay.
feeling like I could never stop consuming a particular thing. I never
So
tried the consuming dick thing because that's not a big thing for me. So, but
fair enough.
theoretically,
But theoretically, you
if
could
someone was like, I am hoeing too much, I'm hoeing too much.
theoretically you could like get yourself addicted to it accidentally.
If you went the wrong way, yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
it's the whole thing of
Yeah.
like, yes, okay, my partner wants me to do a nasty thing that I don't want. My partner wants, and then
Yeah.
suddenly you go, no, actually, now it sounds interesting. Now I want to try it.
Mm. Well, I found that eating naked in front of a mirror really helps me cut down on eating.
Okay, I haven't tried that. I can see, honestly, if I was naked in front of a mirror with food, looking at myself, I could actually see myself going, "What are you doing? What are you doing here?" Megaleech
Also,
did a thing. Tell me about the thing you did, Megaleech.
who is Megaleech talking to, and
He's
who's
talking to me.
messenger?
Okay, I think.
Okay. Also, in reference to Kirsten's 1 liter water bottle, I have a 1.25, an empty Coke bottle basically, that I have to refill like 3-4 times a day with water to keep up with my water drinking, because that's how much water I drink. I just like go through so much water, and I don't know why I drink that much water. I just do.
Sorry, Megaleech did this thing in response to me reading the religious songs off the thing. He's just done
I want to
it.
see more of that. That looks funny
Okay.
as.
I
want to read the track listings. Oh, actually, I mean, you could post it on the Discord.
Yeah. So the tracks were your. Oh no, he literally did the things. It's the tracks from the Christian thing. Your cries have awakened the master on the blood.
That's
I am
awesome.
blessed. And he's just labeled it as Mexican BDSM songs.
Nice.
Oh god. And again, they were fucking weird. Like, you listen to these Christian songs in isolation. A bunch of them sounded like sexual references, and then there was one that was like, this guy's just suicidal. All of these songs are a cry for help. It's like, what the fuck? Jesus.
Hey, where are they? Oh, I want to get your opinion about something.
Okay, I love giving opinions.
Glasses on
Nice.
or glasses off?
Okay, well, it depends who you're trying to hit. If you're trying to hit someone who's after the sexy lesbrarian thing, glasses always. And those are pretty good. Those are pretty good glasses.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love me some lesbrarian.
I know. That's where
To be
I'm
honest.
getting it from you, basically.
Cool. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
No.
I only asked because tomorrow night there's a queer event happening in Fitzroy, and on a dating app that I'm on, someone has put a call out saying that their friend can't go and they're going solo, and they just so happen to be a librarian. And it's a women's only event, and I messaged her saying I could go. Well, I don't mind. I usually go to these events solo as well. I'll look out for you there, and
Glasses.
haven't
I'm
bought a
just throwing
ticket
it out
yet
there.
or anything.
Glasses.
So,
Yeah.
but
Oh
I
no.
also don't know if I'm going to be just so exhausted tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
That's the thing. Oh, Kirsten has
lured
lured.
a cat onto a lap. Can't clean anymore.
Yep, that's valid.
Yeah. Cat's probably happy. Last look, Mrs. Angry's watching British crime drama with her son, and Mimsy is just extremely happily sitting either next to or on Mrs. Angry. So sometime, well, it's 9:30. Mrs. Angry might go to bed in the next half hour. I don't know. I think after Mrs. Angry goes to bed, Mimsy might come in and say hello. But at the moment, she's very happy on the lounge.
Well, the
She's
cats here, actually, they very much enjoy snuggles, but they also really enjoy tummy rubs, which is glorious. Like being able to rub a cat's tummy and sustain that tummy rub with the cat's permission. It's like frolicking through the back hair of an angel. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like the difference between our two cats, they're both super fucking weird, but in extremely different ways. Mimsy, as she gets older and a little bit unwell, she's extremely skinny. She's a skeleton with a bit of fur on top of the bones, but she will sit on your lap and next to you and settle and just love being there. Like when she's on the stream and she sits on the tree next to me and just get chin scratches and cheeks, and she loves it. Shadow, on the other hand, will do this weird fucking thing where she'll jump on my lap and she wants to be patted and she wants to be rubbed, but she won't settle down. And she'll run around and I'll like rub her side or rub her tummy, and she'll writhe and go, but she will not settle down.
I have never seen Shadow ever.
No one does. Okay, visitors to my house.
If you hadn't have mentioned Shadow, I would believe you only have one cat.
Yep.
In fact, I could still believe that. It could be feasible that you're just telling a lie, that you don't own this other cat.
Yeah. No. Mimsy loves visitors, and that includes casual visitors. Like if a delivery person shows up, they might see Mimsy and Mimsy might pay, and they go, "Oh, a cat." And I just go, "She loves attention. If you want to pat her. She fucking loves it." Shadow thinks everyone's going to fucking murder her, and that includes me. Shadow goes from I'm going to come up and demand pats and demand attention, and 5 seconds later I'm going to act like I think you're going to murder me, and I'll run. She's an idiot. They're both idiots, but in very different ways. Kirsten, Martini meowed at you to go to bed. Nice.
My cat's always meowing at me to go to bed.
Fucking weirdos, but in extremely different ways. Mimsy loves visitors, loves attention. Shadow runs away as soon as anyone visits. And even literally half the time with me. Half the time with me, she demands attention, and half the time she runs away in a panic because I'm like, okay, I've been with these people for 14 years, but today's the day they're going to murder me, definitely. She is an idiot. But also she's a little fatty now. She's lengthwise, she's smaller than Mimsy, and that's even why we picked her from the rescue center, because
that's tiny.
She was the runt of the litter, and the other we got her. She was a tiny kitten, and the other kittens were picking on her. And okay, you froze, Abigail, unless Wow, that is. Oh, or maybe I froze.
It's me. It's
Yeah.
100% me.
Sorry, I'm just seeing the thing that says my connection's unstable.
Yours?
I look. I have no idea what the viewing audience is
It could be
experiencing.
me. I haven't even because I'm on Nettie's Wi-Fi. I haven't even like. This is how often I bring my PC here. I haven't even plugged in the aerial for my PC's Wi-Fi. But the Wi-Fi just works.
Okay. Well, on my end, it just improved for about 30 to 60 seconds. My
Okay.
internet connection was saying you're fucked.
I'm pretty sure it's my end.
Yeah, what I'm seeing now on your end is you're frozen.
Yeah.
At least the freeze I'm seeing now is somewhat more flattering than the freeze I was seeing 30 seconds ago. It honestly wasn't. Okay, no, that was a good one. It's now frozen on the blowfish one. But anyway, I think we're coming back.
I don't know what you missed. I'm on Nettie's Wi-Fi.
Yes.
And I bring my PC here so often that the aerials for my Wi-Fi are like always in my handbag.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
good,
haven't.
good.
I forgot to plug them in when I set my computer up.
Mhm.
And I usually just plug Ethernet in when I'm at home, so that
Yeah.
the aerials just sit in a little pocket in my handbag next to my pen, which is a fountain pen, by the way. I love fountain pens.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's just been working because I'm the only one here using it. Usually I have to compete with Shaylee, but Shaylee's not here,
Yeah.
so and the router's
Well,
like literally just like 2 meters away. So
yeah.
If it does freeze like that, it's probably me. So
Well, no, weirdly,
I might plug these in.
yeah, weirdly, I think we had problems at exactly the same time because I had a little thing that was
Yeah.
indicating for me here, it's going, no, your connection's fucked. What's happening?
Oh, okay. I did too.
At the same time, yours, weirdly, at exactly
Wow,
the
what are
same
the
time,
odds?
our internet connections were fucked.
What are the
but
odds of that?
now we're fine. There was about a 2-minute period where our connection was very tenuous.
Well,
So,
I'm going to plug these in. I'll be back in a sec.
all right, fair enough. So where are we? Okay, 9:30. How many drinks? That's 3 drinks in 1.5 hours. And they were all very strong drinks. I feel on one level I'm going, maybe I should drink something non-alcoholic. But then again, maybe I should drink this thing that I just found here. Which one was it? One of these Hadley's Tears, named after Ernest Hemingway's first wife, Elizabeth Hadley Richardson. So a nice mature rum, Geneva, then a little bit of vanilla, absinthe, sugar.
I have returned.
Bitters.
And you missed.
Oh, bum fungus. Hello.
You missed.
Oh yeah, no, dude, bum fungus. It's an official public holiday here in Victoria.
Why is?
Sorry.
So today is a public holiday because of the fucking Queen, right?
I know, and that is just intrinsically stupid. Anthony Albanese said we all need a day to grieve for the Queen.
Fuck off.
I know, it's fucking ridiculous. It's honestly fucking ridiculous.
Props to the people who protested today.
Yes, there were some great protests today, actually.
Yeah. But what's the deal with tomorrow being a public holiday?
In Melbourne, only Melbourne Metro.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow is Grand Final Parade Day. Okay, so what that is, there are various gazetted public holidays. This is a thing that's been negotiated between governments and unions over the years. Some holidays are federal holidays, some holidays are state holidays. States get to gazette a particular number of holidays. A few years back, and I think it was actually a pretty clever move, Daniel Andrews changed one of the gazetted holidays and said, you know what, we should make a big deal of the grand final parade the day before the grand final. That should be a public holiday. So he didn't create a new public holiday. He just said, okay, one of the gazetted holidays we have, I'm just changing it. I'm just changing it to be for Metro Melbourne. It's going to be grand final parade day. For the rest of Victoria, it tends to be show day. It's at different days of the year in different parts of the state. But so it's a gazetted holiday. We have it every year because Jeff Kennett actually got rid of one of the gazetted public holidays because he's a
Of
cunt.
course he did.
And Dan Andrews just went, I'm just reintroducing one of the gazetted public holidays. And it actually, from a purely monetary sense, makes sense. It's like the grand final is a money generating thing and the parade and blah, blah, blah. But whatever. But what Albanese did with the Queen, which is stupid as fuck, but it's a one-off. It's not a gazetted holiday. He just declared a specific holiday. It's a day of mourning for, Betty Schicklgruber.
Look, I'm all for a public holiday. Love a day off. But what a fucked reason to give the nation.
Oh, no. If I was still a contractor, because I said this earlier, I would not be getting paid. If I was losing a day's pay because of the dead fucking Queen, I would be so fucking pissed off. But I since the turn of the financial year, I've been a permanent employee, so I get paid. Yes, Kirsten, today is a federal public holiday across all of Australia. Tomorrow is only a public holiday for Metro Melbourne. So we get a 4-day weekend officially. But if again,
I'm on disability, so
if I want to weird out Americans, I talk about like, hey, look, our next 3 public holidays. One's because the Queen died, one's for football, and one's for a horse race. Those are our next 3 public holidays.
Yep.
But also, same deal. Melbourne Cup Day is only a public holiday in Metro Melbourne. Regional areas, they get to put the gazetted holiday on another day. I always love when fuckheads who think the monarchy counts for shit go like, you get a public holiday for the Queen's birthday. Well, if you want to be a republic, you'll lose a public holiday. No, I won't, you stupid cock, because it was never her birthday, and it won't be Chuckles' birthday when it was just an arbitrary observance. So what will that be when a republic? I don't know. Maybe it will be Republic Day. Maybe it will be go fuck yourself, you stupid royalist cunt day. I don't know.
I like that one.
Yeah, if that's what will happen if I was the leader of a party, if I was premier. Yeah.
Begin rant.
Go.
I got here to Nettie's place. I was fucking exhausted. I was about to just collapse and die.
Yeah.
And as we were pulling up in the Uber, she said, "Oh, I hope you don't mind. I've got the Queen's funeral going on the TV." And I'm like, internal screaming.
Yes.
So we get in, and sure enough, she's got a laptop plugged into HDMI TV, and oh my God, it was just fucked. But she's into it, and I asked her why, and she just said, "Oh, it's anthropology," which I guess kind of makes sense. But does she watch this for other royal families, or does she watch other anthropological events I don't know. I didn't ask.
Mrs.
But
Angry and I have
like
been ripping the
they
piss.
had the parade come out of the cathedral, and
Yeah.
they had this band playing, and my God, it was a dirge. Oh, and it went for fucking hours. It sounded like the same like funeral march on repeat for like 2 fucking hours, and it was just awful. And eventually, like, Nettie just said, "Okay, that's enough of that." Like, she had had enough, and oh my God, it was boring. But I was occupied with setting my PC up, so I kinda, like, tuned it out. Angry's gone.
All right.
End rant.
I'm getting stuff for a drink.
He's back. He's back. He's bad.
I had to find my liquor 43 because this requires a vanilla.
Cool.
All right. This is I'm going to make a drink that's named after.
I have eaten all my strawberries, tomatoes. They were very, very
you made
yummy.
all the tomatoes. Nice.
Oh, I've got another punnet in there. I'm going to save them for tomorrow.
Right.
These are the Perino tomatoes. They're naturally sweetened.
Nice. Well, tomatoes are fairly sweet, actually.
But like, like Roma tomatoes, these are like cherry Roma tomatoes, and they are much tastier than cherry tomatoes. In the same way, Roma tomatoes are tastier than your choc standard tomatoes. So
Icy Saracen, I forget, what part of the world are you in? Because I've got a 4-day weekend.
I honestly, Kirsten, I didn't want to watch any of the funeral. I feel like the funeral was thrust upon me. Like, have a funeral.
I avoided it. Mrs. Angry and I were just kind of taking the piss out of this thing.
I look at it this way: I got paid to watch the funeral for a bit, and I'm okay with
that. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, not much, because Nettie was going to pay me like a lot more, but she had a kerfuffle with the ticketing, and she was out quite a lot of money because she had to rebook flight.
Oh yes, I saw the post about the booking going completely wrong on her.
Yeah, so like I felt really bad because as she was leaving, I was like, "Oh, Nettie, do you mind putting a bit of money in my account?" And I felt really bad, but also I thought, "Hey, I'm here for a week.
Yeah.
You said you were going to pay me. I don't feel bad about that. I just said, don't pay me as much as you said you would." I'm not going to say how much, but like, I feel like it was a good compromise, and I'm okay with how much you did, and so it's all good.
Okay. Sorry, I was thinking there was just a little bit left in this bottle, and I'd pour the rest in. Then I poured it and went, "Oh, I think that was slightly more than I thought was in there." But you know what? Fuck it. 4-day weekend. Yes.
Oh, I feel like just like, okay, I'm gonna take my shoes off at the very least.
Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. So Megaleech had a fromage de femme bleu, which is a soft blue. I fucking love blue cheese. Again, the way I used to eat nothing unusual when I was younger, I never would have believed I'd get into blue cheese, but I really enjoy both soft and hard blue cheeses now. Oops, that was more than I meant to.
So, real talk, the first night I was here alone, I managed to have a shower and could not be bothered / didn't have the energy to get dressed. So I was like wrapped in this towel like all night on this couch, and like this, it actually felt kind of liberating.
Yeah,
Just like
absolutely. Just lounging around naked when
naked
you're by
in a
yourself.
towel, in a really fluffy towel.
Yeah.
Yeah, felt good. Not gonna
Oh,
lie.
God.
It's like
So
don't get to do it at home anymore.
yeah,
Not with
seeing
Will,
this from
like
Megalich,
home a
I'm
lot.
super jealous. A 90% off cheese deal.
Damn.
I feel very jealous at this point. But,
Anyway, that's my way of saying I really want to just strip off right now, but I don't want to get your channel deleted.
you look at any point you can turn your camera off, and we'll just keep the microphone running, and it will then be
Also,
the
like
power of suggestion.
the Nettie's place is on the ground floor, and I'm not used to that because I live on the 14th floor.
Yes.
And so I'm used to like walking around in my apartment, in my bedroom at least,
Yeah.
not having to worry about people looking through. And if
Yeah.
people like manage to actually see anything through the window, good luck to them. Like
Yeah.
that's some serious like binoculars level shit there.
Yeah.
High five, dude. Like I'll support
Yeah.
that. But like here, all the windows facing a busy road. And I'm like, I can get used to this.
God damn.
Like the exhibitionist in me is like,
Yeah.
huh, this
It's
is kind of cool.
just
But
at a nice
I also
level.
don't want to piss off Nettie's neighbors. Like I'm also got to be wary of like a guest
you don't want to
in
cause
Nettie's
dramas.
home. Yeah, I don't want to cause drama. So
Yeah. Right. Well, that's the thing. Like, well, because you've been here, Dr. Abigail. It's a house. It's very self-contained. You can be,
yes,
nude in any room in this house, and no one else is going to know about it.
I've been pretty nude in your house, like almost.
But was it New Year's Eve? Sorry, I'm trying to think.
Oh, New Year's Eve. Yes, I have been completely nude in your house.
Yeah. But you also got changed at the You got changed at the party night, Young Mr. Angry's party, when all the young folk were here.
Yes.
It's like off camera. She didn't do it on camera. She went over there.
Not on camera.
But again, they were a pretty hip crowd. He has good friends.
They were.
And he has very good
definitely
friends.
Were.
Actually. And they were all pretty cool. But yeah, he hasn't asked for another party since then. So I don't know when the next time. I don't know if we get around Christmas, New Year's, if he's going to say, "Can people come over?" And I don't know.
Oh, that was such a night, and
it was less full on than some other nights I've had with friends of his, but it was a thing. It was a big thing.
It was definitely a thing, and events happened, and there were lively characters at this event.
And anyone who watched the stream knows what we're talking about.
I like Kirsten's comment in the chat there about her boss.
Oh yeah, boss took tomorrow off, so Kirsten has to go to work. She said, "I'll turn up, but I can't guarantee I'll do anything." So,
yep.
God, I found myself doing that today when I was running around doing stuff. I was going, "Oh shit, I better go and check on my computer if anyone's trying to get a hold of me while I'm fucking around." Because, not to put too fine a point on it, sometimes when I'm working from home, I'm fucking around, and I just keeping an eye. But I was, oh no, it's actually an official holiday. I don't even have to pretend to work today. Megalich is saying the stream chat is broken and lagging it. I don't know what would be causing it. I don't know whether that's my fault. I'm not getting any warnings.
I don't know.
YouTube's fault.
Don't judge my reaction speed on comments based on the chat lagging, because I saw Kirsten comment way after she wrote it, like minutes. So that's my brain lagging.
Yum. I like this.
So
Sorry, I'm doing my version of Death & Co.'s Hadley's Tears, which is named after Ernest Hemingway's wife, who I imagine is someone who cried a lot because Ernest Hemingway was a steaming pile of shit. Good writer, absolutely a good writer, horrible person. Megaleech, I am connected with a cable, but occasionally my internet fucks up. But I also normally get an indication on my screen if my internet's fucking up. And currently, no warning. So I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so this is rum, Geneva, vanilla liqueur, absinthe, and sugar syrup and bitter. So again, yeah, this is basically a sort of complicated variation on old fashioned. It's very yummy. It's very yummy. I prefer this to the other thing I did a little while ago. It's very yummy. But we'll go on. Okay, so Heine's seeing us freeze as well. Again, the trouble with Australian internet, when someone says there's a problem with stream, okay, there are approximately 100 things that could be causing it, and it's impossible to pin down.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any freezing recently in the past.
I haven't noticed anything since the last time when we were both commenting.
Yeah, so
I don't know. It's weird. There has been some weird fuckery with my internet, and I was supposed to recontact Telstra and say, I did tell you a couple of weeks ago it was fucked, and you should have checked it and worked out that yes, it's fucked, and I'm paying you enough that you should fucking fix it. I think that's a work thing for Kirsten tomorrow.
Nice. Wrong channel.
Nice. That I'm on board with that. But yes, it's an official holiday here. I went into the office on Wednesday. I think it was the first time in a couple of months I'd been in the office because someone who had been there for a while was leaving. So I thought I'll go in for the farewell morning tea. Also, I went to my barber is still in business, which I like. I like him, and it's probably
they'll have your haircut records too.
Yeah, it's comparatively minor, so you might not even notice. I had a little trim on the hair, just trimmed the ends off, as he describes it, to keep it healthy. But the biggest changes, you probably don't even notice. The biggest changes was my beard, getting my beard trimmed and evened and shaved.
Oh, yeah.
I notice it. I don't think it's that noticeable to anyone else if I don't draw their attention to it. But
now that you have, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't take offense to this, but I don't study your face very often.
You shouldn't. It's not a thing. But there's also just a thing like, I'm even just doing it. I'll do my little bit to keep him in business. Over the last 2.5 years of working from home, I think I've visited him 4 times in 2.5 years. Just trim it a little. I'm growing it.
What color are you going to dye your hair?
I've got this one. Okay, so back when my hair was short and I used to color it all the time, I experimented with a whole bunch and just stuff from the supermarket. I can't be bothered fucking around. But I found one that worked particularly well with my hair, and by coincidence, it was one of the cheaper ones at the supermarket called Napro Palette, and they have all spectrum. And so if I was being subtle, they had all these shades of brown, like I'd get light brown or dark brown. But they have one called Rosewood Violet, which actually has quite nice dark purple tones in it. And because I have what I like to euphemistically call natural highlights, which is to say gray hair, in bright light, it picks it up quite a bit. But I actually suspect if I do it, and I might do it this weekend, because I actually got a packet of this rosewood violet. It might just look dark, like my hair might just look dark brown or dark. But if I get a bright enough light, the purple really shows up, which is what I like about it.
Okay.
If it's not bright light, it just kind of looks dark, like I've put a brown in it.
Okay, so it's a
But in
subtle
bright
purple
light,
then.
the purples show up. So we'll see.
What I'm looking it up now. What was it called again?
The brand's Napro, Napro, palette, and they do a whole spectrum. But yeah, I found this one rosewood violet, and it does have a quite nice sort of purple tone in it.
Okay.
And I did pick up a packet of it. I'm probably going to do it either tomorrow or sometime on the weekend. It's not a date night weekend, so I'm going to do streams on Friday and Saturday night. So you'll probably see it. I have no idea if the lights in here are bright enough to show it up very much. But at the very least, my hair will look a lot darker than it looks at the moment.
Rosewood
Whether
violet.
It looks purple,
Oh, that
I'm not
is. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Because I
cool.
put it in my beard, which is weird because you're not meant to. It's meant to be in here, and because it's got that ammonia smell in it, and so if I do it in my facial hair, that just kind of wafts up my nose, and I spend the 15 minutes to half an hour going like, oh god, this is pretty fucking full on because it's just going straight
That's
up my
the
nose.
bleach.
Yeah, it's the bleach, and but I like to get a bit of color in the beard as well, so I'll probably just despite probably medical authorities warning me against it.
Oh, look, you don't know who, but I guarantee you've met someone who has bleached and colored their pubic hair.
Oh, absolutely.
And you're not supposed to do that either. And the funny thing about pubic hair is, I mean, yes, it is like very sensitive, but also pubic hair is really thick. So
and
you need to
coarse, yes.
bleach the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to dye. Not hypothetically, if I may have tried it before, not saying I have, but if I did,
not saying I haven't. Yeah.
not saying I have, not saying I haven't, not saying I have, but if you did, you have to you have to use really strong bleach first. You can't just use a packet from the supermarket or the chemist. You have to get professional bleach to do it. And I'm talking like 40 vol, like 40% hydrogen peroxide on that shit. That's which is
In fact, Mrs. Angry did that recently because anyone who knows her knows that she had for years put a very bright red in her hair. And she claimed I was her inspiration. Like when COVID happened, I was just like, yeah, fuck it. You know what? I'm not coloring or cutting my hair anymore. Because I'd always wondered, because I started coloring my hair in my 20s. And so I'd always been coloring it. And I was going, at some point, I'm just going to have to go, I'm not doing it anymore. And I never knew when that would be. And COVID just happened to be it. I was just going, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just growing my hair and I'm going to stop coloring it. And so for the first time in like 25 years, I got to see what my hair actually looks like. And now I might color it again.
Did that for me too.
Yeah.
For the first time in 20 odd years, I got to see how much of my hair was natural highlights and how much wasn't.
Yeah. And Mrs. Angry even went to, she actually bleached her hair as well because she let the color grow out. That's cool. That's natural. And then she just went, oh, I found some neat looking colors. And they say to work properly, you have to bleach. So she actually bleached her hair and was then experimenting with various colors, which look cool. And it's always fun when we go out and she's colored her hair and she will get young women like on the serving staff say like, "Oh, I love your hair," and I go, "You know why they're saying that? It's because it's like it's an older person because they're in their 20s. So anyone over 30 is old compared to as far as they're concerned. They're going and because someone in their 20s going, oh, am I going to have to stop doing this? And they just go, here's someone who's in the vague over 30 category, who's doing some wild colors in their hair, and it's making me feel good. And so she always gets compliments from younger women when she colors her hair.
I do too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's them going like, oh, I don't have to worry about not doing
Yep.
this when I pass 30.
Older women, middle-aged women coloring their
Yeah.
hair has been a thing for decades. It's never gone out of fashion.
But old women doing it was always the blue rinse set. Old women I grew up with, grannies and whatnot, would do a blue, pink, purple rinse in their hair. That was a thing old women did. Not middle-aged women. I mean 70, 80-year-old women
Yeah.
would do that.
I've never seen an demographic of an age demographic of women who hasn't had like some women have colored hair. Like doesn't matter what age.
Yeah, and I'm
And it's
all
great.
for it.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. And I'm also whatever someone's choice is. Same thing with like tattoos. Oh, you choose to get a fuck ton of tattoos, go you. You choose to not get any tattoos, go you. You choose to get one or two tattoos, go you. The idea that one is right and one is wrong is stupid.
Everyone's
And again, I know this
nowadays.
from being Gen X, the post-punk population, being super judgmental of everyone. I think I was very guilty of that in the 80s, to a lesser extent in the 90s. But at a certain point, anyone who's not a complete fuckwit goes, I'm not going to judge other people. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
They might actually go further than me with hair color or piercings or tattoos or fashion, or they might be more conservative than me with hair color, piercings, tattoo, fashion. It's cool. You do you. If you're not being a prick, that's the only thing that matters. Just don't be a shithead to other people.
Yeah. If they're not hurting someone, just leave them alone.
Yeah. And yeah. And also, yeah, you've got to recognize when you're being a dickhead yourself as well.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And be open
with-
to like people telling you you're being a
yeah,
dickhead.
yeah.
And
I kind of think
yeah.
whatever the generation, anyone who thinks they're not a dickhead is probably the worst dickhead. Because I'll absolutely cop to. I've probably done and said terrible things over the decades, but it's just like, yeah.
My 20s were littered with cringeworthy, like dickhead moments.
Oh.
I want to just erase half of my 20s. I swear.
Like, I think almost everyone in Gen X, I go, I am so fucking glad there was no social media when I was in my teens and 20s.
Oh,
because if the
I'd
shit
be fucking cancelled. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be so cancelled.
Yeah. If the shit I did in my teens and 20s was on the public record, I'd be so fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
And now, like, this is why I'm not like if someone does something really shitty, like you call them out, but like the whole cancel culture thing is bullshit. Like,
well, yeah.
Give people a chance to learn and recover is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I'm with it.
if they have the capacity to learn and make honest apologies and not do a Louis CK and not even know what you did wrong,
I hate that voice
like
so much.
seriously, yeah, or yeah, you know, like a fucking what's that comedian? What is it with fucking comedians?
Comedians fucking suck. Okay, comedians suck. They
I
are
think that
very insecure people.
a lot of comedians think they have a free pass to say whatever they want and get away
Yeah,
with it, and that's just
I'm
not the
telling the
case.
truth, man. You know.
Yeah, it's just comedy, you know.
Yeah.
Punch
No.
up, fuckheads.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
seriously.
Even
Like,
you comedians, I think, are super insecure because they're worried they're the next one that someone will say, hey, that's a super fuck thing you did. So when there is a comedian who is actually doing a super fucked thing that no one should defend, they will defend them because they think, to an extent, rightly, the world's against them. So, I mean, like I saw one, there's a, you know, because I watched a couple of sort of podcasty things on YouTube from comedians I like, there'll always be something like where they talk about how cool Louis C.K. is, and these ones they had like the title of the video was like they had Louis C.K. on their podcast interview. Louis C.K. talks about being publicly shamed, and I was like, do you mean Louis C.K. talks about when everyone discovered he was a serial sexual predator? Is that what you're talking about? Is that what you, when you say publicly shamed, do you mean when the
yes.
world discovered for a decade Louis C.K. had been a serial sexual predator? Is that what you mean? And comedians generally are so fucking insecure. They will band together and
I'm
defend
all
people.
for, like, going up to a line. Like, I
Yeah.
get that. I get that comedy has a purpose, but, you know, there is a point where you've gone too fucking far, and a lot of
Oh yeah.
comedians don't know where that line is.
Yeah. And it's just like, I'm speaking truth. There's the great routine James Acaster did about transphobes, and he's just going like, yeah, you know, you comedians, yeah, I'm just telling the truth, man. You can't handle it. And he's going, and then he did the whole thing about, I'm not going to talk about anyone in particular because their fans get really antsy and whatnot. But you know, Ricky Gervais, fuck that guy.
Yes. Yes.
And it was just basically saying the idea of these people saying, I'm just telling the truth, man. What can you? And we go, oh, yeah, the trans community. There's a group of people who've had it far too easy for far too long. And, and again, James Acaster, so far as I know, cishet white guy. And, but he's just looking at it and going, for fuck's sake, what are you people actually saying? You're going, I'm edgy, and you are picking on some of the most vulnerable groups in society, and you think you're the good guy. Like, I think it's a Terry Pratchett line where people just go like, oh, it's just dark humor. It's like gallows humor. It's like, no. When the person on the gallows makes a joke about their situation, that's gallows humor. When someone in the crowd cheering it on makes fun of the person, they're just part of the execution.
Yes.
And that's what people
Terry
like Ricky Gervais don't get.
Terry Pratchett is fucking a legend. I would turn straight for it. I would turn straight for Terry Pratchett if it would bring him back.
Yeah, you know, I'd give him a hand job. It's just like, again, he was he was very good at communicating ideas. He was exceptionally good at communicating ideas.
So Megaleech has sent you a picture. I believe it is a beard dyeing.
Honestly, with Megaleech, the mind boggles when he says, "What the fuck? Sorry." Jesus Christ. Okay, Megaleech, I assume you're okay with me sharing it because it's fucking hilarious. But before I share it, I need to be sure that you telling me you said you must know I want to share it. because it is fucking hilarious.
Show it.
Show it. I just want to be sure that the reason he sent me is he's okay
Yep.
with me sharing.
We have consent.
Yeah, no, he's saying
Positive consent.
It is a very funny photo, and I'm just going to share it now. Where are we? Oh my god! Oh my god! That is so fucking funny. That is that's fucking great. Oh, it's fucking great. Like, as soon as I saw it, I go, I hope you sent it to me with the intention of me sharing it, because it's fucking hilarious. That is a really good photo. That is a very good photo.
That's legendary. Oh, that's so good. I have to adjourn myself. I have to go to the little girls' room.
All right, well, you do that first, and I'll monologue for a while. Then I probably have to
Okay.
go to the little boys' room when you get back. But,
Sure. I shall return shortly.
Oh, Heine, literally, dude, if you think that's Megaleech being weird, Megaleech has shared photos with me that are way beyond that. That's more an after party thing. And then I just joke, God, does anyone even remember? We literally have not done an after party for I don't know how long. It's definitely months. Might be a year. I don't fucking know. But yeah. No, the other photos are way more sort of after party stuff. Yeah. Oh God, I even just remember. Oh no, I don't have a bookmark on this thing. I was trying to think of something I wanted to check on that I hadn't checked on in a long time. But I won't do it on this stream. Nassau, hello. Oh wow, you have a friend who was an animator for Bluey. Furry prawn. Oh, oof. Yeah. Oof. Literally, prior to you making that comment, that had never occurred to me. But as soon as you said it, of course, there is a shit ton. Of course, there is a shit ton of furry Bluey prawn out there. Artist, she's very talented. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I think, yeah, Bluey's maybe the best kids cartoon in the world at the moment. Yes, I think it was your photo that caused Dr. Abigail to excuse herself, Megaleech. But I feel like that's maybe the mildest Nassau. Photoshops of Bandit in diapers. I love me the furry community. They're awesome. Is there weird fucked up porn shit? Yes, but in which demographic of society is there not weird fucked up porn shit? That's what I'll say. So, oh God. Yeah, like, I've been on the internet since the 90s, so I've basically been exposed to weird fucked up shit since the 90s. Heine, Furry came to Melbourne for YouTube meetups for a while. But yeah, I'm sure they did. God, on Facebook. Someone's asking about meetups on Facebook, and I fucking gave up on that shit. If you want me to be bitter and resentful, we'll talk about online communities. And to be honest, my involvement with and exposure to this shit is minor compared to other people, But again, since the 90s, I've seen so much shit with online communities. It's like the small number of people who put in the effort to develop and maintain online communities. And this was me for a long time with YouTube. But the small number of people who put extraordinary amounts of time and effort to developing and maintaining online communities, they are never recognized sufficiently. They're never rewarded sufficiently. It's a bad fucking deal. So on the one level, I'm tempted to say, like, okay, COVID cases have gone down a bit. Maybe we should try and organize another meetup in Melbourne. But also, I'm just going to, like, you know what? Fuck it. I have put myself out for this shit for like 15 years. And it's been a major fucking drain on me. It has been a really significant drain on me. Just like physically, emotionally, and just time-wise. Just the amount of my time it's taken up over, 15 years. It's fucking stupid. And I don't, and it's kind of like COVID tipped me over an edge, but I just don't feel like doing it anymore because it's just too much of a fucking hassle. And other people never fucking meet up to their commitments. When people say they're going to be at a thing, they're going to do a thing, they never fucking measure up to it. It's like, well, you know what? I've given up too much of my time. I've given up too much of my headspace. I've just given up too much for this shit for no fucking return. And it's just like, yeah, you know what? So at the moment, I am absolutely being a whiny little bitch. And yeah, Heine, I don't know if you ask some of the younger ones, Mitchell, Falcon, they're doing stuff. I don't know. You know what? I've definitely, COVID's just made me dip out from that shit. And it's just like, I've given up, Christ, even monetarily. I have no idea if a whole bunch of people understand how much trying to do these community things has cost me monetarily. Because it's cost me a fucking fortune, quite honestly. And I am genuinely angry that people don't understand how much it's cost me. It's cost me fucking years of my life in just terms of trying to organize shit and get stuff to happen. But just in terms, like in dollar terms, trying to set things up for people, it's fuck it. I'm just gonna say it's cost me personally more than $100,000 to try and organize stuff for people who don't give a fucking shit, who gave nothing in return. And so if I had never put any effort into this shit whatsoever, I would be more than $100,000 better off. And these fucking cunts out there have no understanding of that. And I don't know, I don't spend a lot of time trying to be cynical and dismissive and whatnot, but I don't know, Jesus Christ, at a certain fucking point, and I probably reached this a year or two ago. It's just like, oh, fuck you, people. Yeah. But again, I've been on the internet long enough. I've read other people's stories of various online communities and people who've put in a stupid number of hours to develop a community, like way more than I have. And then they realize at a certain point that all the people they've put in all these hours for and they've sacrificed their lives for, these people just don't fucking give a shit. And it's like, oh, okay. Oof. It's just like, okay, I need to look after myself. I need to protect myself because these other people, they don't fucking care. They don't give a shit. And they will never understand the sacrifices made by the people who try to organize communities and support and run communities. And it's like, I honestly have to admit my experience over the last like 2 decades is it's not fucking worth the effort. You will put in X amount of effort to making a community work, and 90+% of the people who benefit from the work you do to create, develop, and maintain that community don't give a shit about you. They don't recognize the work you put in. They don't care. And worse, in a lot of cases, they will actively fucking sabotage you. And it's like, this now, God, now I'm getting super cynical and bitter. But if I honestly, I have to be honest. If anyone was ever to ask me, is it worth my effort to try and set up this community and develop a thing that would do X, Y, Z, I would say no. It is almost definitely not going to be worth your effort because you will put a huge effort into it and no one who benefits from your effort will give a fucking shit about what you've given up for them. Dr. Abigail, you've come back while I'm in the midst of self-pity mode.
Mike, Yvonne, and Melanin.
Yeah, no, just internet community.
What are you talking about here?
I'm just talking about online communities. 1% of people surrender their lives for the other 99% who never fucking acknowledge the work
My hair is
that
doing weird things.
the 99% do. But,
yes, unfortunately, that is true of many different groups.
I've read stories that are way worse than mine. I can't even remember. There was an online gaming thing like early mid 2000s where they had guilds and whatnot. It was huge. World of Warcraft. It might have been World of Warcraft. But I remember reading this article from this person who was a central thing. I think it was World of Warcraft. And they were one of the biggest guilds in World of Warcraft. And this is this person who was spending between 12 and 18 hours a day keeping this thing running and whatnot. And it was a running thing. People were like losing their lives to World of Warcraft. And this person, they did it for a couple of years. And I don't know, the penny dropped at some point that they were literally killing themselves. It was a really bad thing. And they had spent a just ridiculous number of hours helping other people and whatnot. And then they just dipped out altogether because their mental health and physical health was crashing. And they dipped out for months and suddenly everything got better in their life. And they were like, well, that was the right thing to do. And they'd been out for a couple of months and they thought when they'd been out, I forget if it was 3-6 months, They thought they'd just go back on the server and say, "Hi, how are you all doing? I used to be like main guy in the guild, and I just want to see how you're doing." And the universal response is, "I don't know who you are." And
Wow.
they were just like, I literally wasted 3 to 5 years of my life. No one
Yep.
cares. I spent more than 12
Far
hours
out.
a day doing this shit, and no one
That's it.
cares.
That sounds like my Star Trek Online experience as well.
Yeah. That's my YouTube
I-
experience, quite honestly. But
I was I was in a guild in Star Trek Online. It's called a fleet.
yeah.
And I joined this fleet, rose through the ranks, and eventually became second in command.
Yeah.
And put in a lot of work. It was a passion, and like yeah, it was lots of fun. It got me through my hardcore depression years. Recruited members, etc. Anyway, the fleet president ended up unfortunately dying of cancer.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Yes.
Well, we knew it was coming. Like, he was diagnosed 6 months before he went, so so we had time, and there was a big send off and everything. There was like, you know, we did what we could, but eventually he succumbed. It was lung cancer. He smoked like a chimney, so
Oof. Yeah, no, that's not good.
he had a really good attitude about it. He knew it was self-inflicted, so he didn't have a victim mentality about it. So his wife was just shattered. She couldn't game again. She was
Yeah, of course.
in the fleet as well. But yeah, like after he passed, I took a step back from the fleet and the game, and all of a sudden my access to the fleet website suddenly got cancelled, and I logged onto the game after like a month, and I was no longer in the fleet at all. And what the fuck? Some guy had taken over, and yeah, it just became a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
Nice.
never worth it. It is basically never worth it. Which sounds horrible and negative. Like, Jesus Christ, I literally lost more than $100,000 in income trying to do a thing for YouTube people, and none of those fucking cunts care. I tried to do a thing, it didn't work, and because I stopped working for more than 6 months so I wasn't earning, so I'd given up. I've never bothered to calculate the exact amount because it would depress the fuck out of me, but it's over $100,000. I gave up over $100,000. Okay, Dr. Abigail Megaleech has sent another photo for the Spank Bank.
Oh no!
I think it's saying, how do you describe it? This is the photo one of the kids took and used it as the phone contact screenshot. So I'm going to where are we? Let's go and do share this tab. That's
oh no! What the hell?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh no!
That's a suitably evil thing for kids to do, quite honestly. And hi, Alexander. By the way, how's it going? Okay, Dr. Abigail, you had your little girls' room visit. I'm going to visit the little boys' room. See if there are any little boys in there. But maybe it's
okay.
I'll be back in.
I can't guarantee that I can monologue for longer than 20 seconds. Do I know anyone who is watching this who plays Astroneer or Project Zomboid? Oh, Megaleech. Which one? Which one of those do you play? I only ask because I've been playing them both by myself, and I wouldn't mind trying some multiplayer. That's all. Oh wow, okay. Cool. I like both for different things. So Project Zomboid's good. It's like The Sims, but in a zombie apocalypse. And Astroneer is just a fun kind of Minecraft in space kind of. Oh, hello, cat. Hello. This is Sir Pounce. This is one of Nettie's cats. Oh, hello. I am a meow face. I am meowing. Oh, hello. I am uncomfortable. Look at my paws. Go on, cat. Oh, sorry. He has been meowing because he wants to go outside, and he's not allowed outside. He is very gorgeous, and he likes to snuggle. And he has been fed. He's not meowing because he's hungry. He just wants to go outside. He used to at Nettie's old place. He used to be an outdoor cat. Now he's strictly an indoor cat, and he is upset about that.
Oh dear.
The other cat, on the other hand, is just a chill cat. But anyway, yes. I want to get into playing either Project Zomboid or Astroneer multiplayer. So, that would be cool if I could get a couple of people into that. At some point, I don't know how to proceed.
Right. I'm just going to share a
Hi.
nice photo. Nice
Hey,
photo.
Wow,
Nice
that's
photo
a
of
completely.
Megaleech.
He is a completely different person in that photo compared to the last one.
That's just to balance out the distressing ones.
Yeah. That's a really nice photo, actually.
That was a nice photo. We need to have a nice
Yeah.
Megaleech photo to balance out the distressing ones that we've been shown. It's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
That is one of the most intelligent things you've said in a long time.
I know. That's better out than in, is what we say.
Yes.
That was actually way more than I was expecting when I started that. But
I've never heard my son burp. He keeps telling me he doesn't know how to burp, and I've never, in hindsight, I've never heard him burp. Like, I'm sure he does. Like, all mammals can. I can't do it on command, but like I burp all the time. Yeah. And he's always mystified how I can just like take a swig of some caffeinated, it's like carbonated beverage, and then just burp. Like, he can't do it. It must just slowly leak out.
Yeah. No, I for ages I've been able to do it. Basically, I force air down. But basically, I force air down, and then it comes back up.
I can't force. How do you force air down?
Look, that's Megaleech's COVID.
Oh, jeez! You look like the crazy homeless man who sits outside the shopping center, who just wants to tell you about his foot fungus or something.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Like, he's harmless, but like, don't start a conversation because you'll be there for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Speaking of homeless weirdos and long conversations, I probably should have
Oh,
texted Aidsy tonight,
text
but
AZ. Yeah,
it's too late now. But because over the last week he's texted me a
10:30.
couple of
Yeah.
nights when I wasn't streaming, saying, "Are you streaming?" And I've had to say, "No, I'm not."
Yeah. Well, last time you streamed and said that you messaged him. I
Yeah,
think it was last
Friday or Saturday.
week,
No, Friday. It
last
was last
Friday,
Friday. Yeah.
and he didn't turn up. So,
No, he had technical problems. I'll text him again
oh,
tomorrow.
okay,
I should have done it earlier
sure,
tonight. It's too late to do it now, but I'll text him tomorrow and say, look, I'm definitely
sure,
doing streams on Friday and Saturday night because it's
cool.
not date night. It's a long weekend, and fucking whatevs.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just trying. This is the other thing. Like when I feel sort of certain pressures of, oh, there's air down there. I can usually leave it because I can force a burp. I just literally swallow air, and then I burp that back up. And it is most times it's relief. It's kind of like, oh, there's a pressure there. I don't like it. Right, I'll swallow. I'll force down some air, and then I'll release, and it'll come back up, and then I'll feel better.
If I take a swig of,
Oh yeah, no, a carbonated beverage will often make me burp. Oh god, I had a thing. I think I said this on a stream, but it's kind of like, oh, nice, nice.
doesn't have to be a big swig,
No, I was
but
parked in a
yeah,
supermarket, and I was putting stuff back in my car, and I looked over my shoulder, and there was no one there. I'm putting things, and I went, I feel like when I bend over to put this in the car, I'm going to fart. And sure enough, I did. I leaned over and let loose. And then I stopped, looked up, and then there was someone right behind me. And
oh,
I was like, because
I
I was wearing a mask, and I was going like, I choose not to acknowledge that happened. And I'm just
I
getting in
I
my
have
car.
trained myself to always look around if I need to burp or fart. Just
Yeah,
always do it. Even if you're just by yourself, if you know you're
yeah,
by yourself, just always do it. The only time I've like let my guard down is at home,
yeah,
and I learned quickly that like when Will moved in, because I just got like so used to just letting my guard down at home,
yeah,
I'd just be sitting there and just burp and not even know I burped, and he'd
yeah.
just be there, and I and he said, "Oh, nice," and I'm like, "What?" Or I just like walk past and I just like let one rip, and 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 not know I just farted, and he'd be like, "Oh," and I'm like, "What?" But now I know, and at least now I say hashtag walk the dog.
Yeah, it's like Mrs. Angry and I have been together 18 years, so like we don't give a shit.
Yeah,
And but occasionally with the offspring around us, we're like, oops. And it's just like, and they'll
yeah,
give us the look, and it's like, yeah, well, whatever, you know. It's like, I always love like with the offspring, if they want to give me a hard time, it's like, you know what? If you don't shut up, I will start to describe the sort of sexual practice that led to you existing. So maybe, unless you want to be emotionally traumatized for the rest of your life, you want to back the fuck off and, you know.
yes, nice.
just throwing it out. Okay, the time me and your
Will's
mum
been
did.
throwing shade on me lately
Yeah.
because I'm like a desperately single disaster lesbian, and he's been like either
Yeah.
in a relationship or getting some, and
Yeah.
just been throwing that shade at me, and it kind of, like, I'm not going to say it stings, but it kind of hits a bit too close to home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like settle down there. Hey, get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm at least in the comfort position of if any of them ever give me shit, I'm just like, shut up or I'll tell you about old person sex. And then they're like, no, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck off and leave me alone then.
Sorry, I'm interacting with a cat.
And that's okay.
Oh, hey, kitty.
Is the cat visible? Oh, there you
It's
go.
a
The cat's
pout.
visible if I do that.
Oh,
There you go.
cool.
Now the
Hello.
cat's visible. Everyone loves the cats on the internet.
Yoink! Cat.
Oh my god. Okay.
He's such a chunk.
That is a bit of a chunk of cat.
Hello. Hello. He's very.
I haven't seen
He's
either
very
of my
chungus.
cats. No,
He's
I haven't seen either of my cats, so I think they've gone into the bedroom with Mrs. Angry.
He's the same coloring as my cat, just like
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That was
twice
very
the
similar to your
size.
cat. Yeah.
Yeah. Twice the size in every dimension. There he goes.
Yeah, there's him wandering off in the background.
And he's like half as small as Will's cat. Like he's half the size in every dimension.
Will's cat with the Maine Coon DNA is like, Jesus.
Like even if you shaved all of Will's cat's fur, he'd still be massive. You know how cats cat loaf?
Yes.
They like sit like this and you can't see their feet. Will's cat can't cat loaf. He sits like a big cat.
Too big.
Like he's too big to loaf, so he sits like a big cat, like a fucking lion or something. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Or he just pancakes. You know when they stick their back legs out? He'll do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of adorable.
I knew I'd seen another drink in here I wanted to try a variation of. All right, that's cool.
Fair enough.
I'm still.
I'm running out of steam.
Look, okay, this is the whole thing that I'm barely coherent at the moment.
Okay.
I can have one more drink and definitely be completely incoherent at that point.
Okay. Well, you haven't repeated yourself recently. That's how I usually judge.
Repeat stuff. That's an old, and by old, I think almost 10 years old, Bo Burnham song.
Yes, 10 years. That's like the 90s, right?
Yeah, no, but that dude was posting shit on YouTube when he was 15 or 16 years old, and now he's 31, 32.
Yeah.
Fucking surreal.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing. Like people will occasionally say, like, "Oh yeah, I was watching you when I was 16. Now I'm 30," and I'm just like, "Oh, fuck."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. The funniest thing about the song "Repeat Stuff," which again is like it's fucking nearly 10 years old, but it was making fun of repetitive, commercialized, like factory produced pop music, and it's in his
Make Happy.
No, the previous one, What? So
Okay.
the big specials Bo Burnham did. He did What, which was, and that was bordering on 10 years ago. But Make Happy, in terms of just, because that was a live show, the meticulous construction of that blows my fucking mind. The fact that he could pull that together into a live show actually does my head in. Inside, which he did 2 years ago, is mind-blowing in a different way that he produced it in a room alone during lockdown, and that's a whole different thing. But Make Happy, which is about
could
Make
I
Happy is
couldn't
about
relate
5 years ago.
Inside.
Yeah. No, and I get we've had this conversation before that
Yeah.
you couldn't get into Inside, which I get. But I get one of the
I
bits
think
I
because
really
I just felt so liberated in lockdown
yeah,
and just
yeah,
like thrived
yeah.
in a way that only introverts can.
Absolutely. But one of the bits I mean I loved Inside overall. But one of the bits I really loved was the song Put Your Hands Up, where he's doing thing and he mixes up as if he's talking to an audience, and he's going like, okay, so like 5 years ago I stopped performing live because I was having, and this was the Make Happy tour, and it's like I was having panic attacks on stage, which is a bad place to have them. Um, uh, and so I thought, I need to stop. I need to work on myself. And he goes, and you know what? It worked. I got better. And then in January 2020, I decided I need to go out on the road again. I need to put myself out there. I've got better. And then the funniest thing happened. And again, for someone in his position, that's doubly, triply, quadruply fucking surreal. Like he was, again, 4 years previous, he was at his height, but he was literally having on stage and he couldn't perform live anymore. So he stopped because it was destroying him, and he worked on himself, and he goes, I got better. I should go back out into the world. And then a global fucking the month he decided to go back out into the world, a global fucking pandemic hit. And it's just like,
Yeah.
whoa, what the fuck? Do the gods hate you, Bo Burnham? Is that what it is? And it's just like, it's just wild. But sorry, I was going back to repeat stuff, which is from the What special, which is, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 years ago. I don't even know how long ago it was. But I saw an interview with him on some chat show, and he says, I felt so bad. He goes, you know what I found out when I was doing the What tour, and that song was in part of the set. I found out in a show, it was in New York or something, or LA or something. Justin Bieber sort of sneaked into the show. He did something with the venue owners. He waited till the lights went down, and he snuck in with his girlfriend after the lights went down and sat down to watch the show and have a good time. And then I do this song, which is basically saying Justin Bieber is Satan. And he's just going, when I found out later, I felt bad. Justin Bieber's just trying to have a night out, and he goes to have watch the show that people said was funny, and there's a song that is essentially saying you are the spawn of Satan, and he's just going like, that song is not meant to have Justin Bieber in the audience when I do it. It's meant to have everyone in the world apart from Justin Bieber in the audience when I do it. And it was really funny watching him do this thing. Like when someone told me after the fact that Justin Bieber was in the audience, I was just going, oh, fuck. There's that whole thing. There's that whole thing I did.
But Justin Bieber probably got a kick out of it. Like, I don't know what his reaction is. I hope so. He's actually, like, Justin Bieber, for all his past and it being a teeny bopper, is actually a super talented musician.
He is talented. I kind of feel like Justin Bieber as a kid and a mid-teen was a thoroughly decent person, and then people tried to look after him, but then there was this period of Justin Bieber at about 18 to 21 where he turned into a steaming bag of shit, and he was awful
Yeah.
and he did terrible things. But then there was literally a point somewhere in his early 20s where Justin Bieber
He
went,
turned that.
"Oh, I
He
can't.
turned it all around. Yeah.
Sorry. I worked out. No, I was being a dickhead. There was a period of quite a few years where I was being the worst person in the world, and it was almost like he went to Comedy Central and said, "You should do one of those roast things where you get some very clever comedians to just spell out what a
Yeah.
fucking piece of shit I was." And I will take it. I'll be there. I will sit there and I will take it because I need to accept there was a period of a number of years where I stopped listening to the people who were trying to protect me and I just behaved horribly and I was a piece of shit. And I now think he might be okay. But yeah, he's everything else
Yeah.
aside, Justin Bieber is talented. He is a
Yes.
multi-instrumentalist.
Yes.
He can sing, he can perform. Uh, and there was definitely a period where he was a steaming pile of shit as a human. And I think maybe he's past that now. It was somewhere like
Yeah.
between 17, 18, and
Oh,
early
look,
20s where he was fucking awful.
Justin nails it. Look, me at that age, if you gave me like millions of dollars, I would have done
Jesus
so
Christ.
much stupid shit too.
No,
And
if I had
not even like fame, fortune, and all that shit, I would have just been off the fucking rails.
no,
Like
you
just
give
like he
me
was.
you give me the money, fame, and fortune that Justin Bieber had at 20. You give that to me now, and Hitler will look good by comparison.
Yeah.
I
But
would
like
be the worst. I would be the worst.
so do you know Phoebe Bridges?
Yes.
Phoebe, do you?
Personally, me and Phoebe Bridges have,
Oh, I am so jealous.
no.
She did a cover. I got that.
You got that
She
wasn't
did a
serious? Okay, cool.
I did not take that seriously. She did
Damn,
a
I
cover
thought I was so hip that everyone thought, he's definitely done it with Phoebe
hitting
Bridges.
that. I'd hit that. She's openly bi as well, so
Okay, so we're both in with a chance.
we're both in.
Yeah.
As if. Anyway, she did a cover of That Funny Feeling by
Yes, which is
Bo Burnham,
beautiful. Yes, yeah.
and she performed it on stage once, and Bo Burnham happened to be in the audience.
There is a video on YouTube which I've seen. Someone was in the row behind Bo Burnham and they just went like, fuck me, Bo Burnham sitting just in. And so they got a video of
Yes.
him reacting and he was really happy. He was like,
Yeah.
Someone's just made this into a pop song and it's nice.
Well, her version is very folky and kind of like
very mellow.
Yeah, mellow and folky, and I really enjoy it. And yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there. But also Phoebe Bridges, like, so hot. Like,
definitely.
Her music is so different to her speaking voice. If you've ever heard it,
Isn't
like
it's weird?
Real.
But
it's
just
so
generally,
surreal.
Yeah. Like you were saying, like you never really got into Bo Burnham's special Inside, but recently, like a month or so ago, there was a thing they put on Netflix called the Inside Outtakes. It was a bunch of stuff that didn't make it to the Inside thing, and it's mind blowing. It's like, okay, so you spent the best part of a year trying to put this material together, and you threw out a shit ton of stuff. You see, like he's trying to come up with songs, and there's really only about 30 seconds of this song, and he's clearly worked on it. He's never been able to do more than 30 seconds of the song, so he threw it out. There's a very funny one about Joe Biden, which apparently
Okay.
got picked up by TikTokers who lip sync things. But the song was like, Joe Biden, are you really trying to tell me my best options, Joe Biden? Are you going to make me vote for Joe Biden? it's just this really nihilistic, like, are you seriously telling me my only option to Trump is voting for Joe Biden? Why are you doing this to me?
Oh,
It's really
oh,
good. But also the songs that did get into it, particularly because I don't, for people who know Inside, there are very long takes in some of the songs. And he does these things where he shows how many times he tried to get it right. And you'll end up with these little frames where he's tried 20 times to get this take right. And they'll drop out one by one where he fucks it up at various points. And there'll be 20, 24 of these little frames on the screen. And they'll just drop out one by one where he fucks it up. And it just comes down to the one he ended up using. The Inside outtakes really brings home the just freakish amount of development that was required to make the Inside special happen. And he literally did it on his own in a room. And it's just, for anyone who's done YouTube shit, that hits home really hard.
Fair enough. That just sounds like a recipe for mental illness.
Well, that's the thing. He hits home. The thing I love about Make Happy, which I still think is about technically the most perfect comedy special I've ever seen. Because A, it's funny. B, he's freakishly talented with the music and whatnot. C, he takes huge amounts of risks with the technical staging of it. All the technical stuff has to happen perfectly and whatnot. And then D, he makes a huge point of saying, this is all lies, this is all false. When comedians say, I went down to the shops the other day. No, I didn't. I'm just using that as a framing thing to tell a joke.
Yes.
And then the last thing he does in the show is the Kanye piss take. I can't handle this anymore. And it starts off being silly, and then it just slips into the audience and his relationship with the audience. And he says, part of me loves you, part of me hates you, part of me fears you. And he says, I don't think I can and he's been talking about frivolous things like burritos and Pringles cans, and he's going, but literally just being in front of you, I don't think I can handle this anymore. And then there's the line, come and watch the skinny kid with a steadily deteriorating mental health as he tries to give you what he cannot give himself. And that's to make you happy, because he can't feel happy, but he wants you to feel happy because you've paid money to come here and feel happy. But he spent the entire show saying everything I tell you is a lie. But then he says this thing that honestly seems to be true. But up until this point where he says something that feels very, 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 very true, he spent the whole time saying everything I tell you is a lie. There's this whole thing of, and again, that pivotal line, come and watch the skinny kid with a steadily deteriorating mental health as I try to give you what I cannot give myself. And then the last thing after he does the song, after doing the I don't think I can handle this anymore multiple times, the song stops and he just goes, thank you, I hope you're happy. And it's just like, oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? And again, because he is the master manipulator of, am I telling you the truth, or am I performing, or am I doing a performance of my truth? And it's just like, ooh, what the fuck? And he's good at fucking with people. He's just really good at fucking with people.
Well, I mean, oh, geez, I was going to mention, I know this really good comedy routine by Bill Cosby. He was good good at fucking with people.
Yeah. Yeah, he was good at
Tell me you got that.
I did.
You didn't even react. You didn't even react. Come on.
My dad had Bill.
It's not too soon, really.
My dad had Bill Cosby comedy albums. I listened to Bill Cosby repeatedly.
I listened to him when I was
a
preteen.
There was a thing and I got freaked out when someone showed this on YouTube. There was an episode of The Cosby Show where there was like a family barbecue, and his character was saying, everyone's going to get mellow when I give them my special punch. And everyone in the family was sitting around like they were stoned and doing shit. And then in retrospect, at the time he did that show, he was drugging and raping women. And just like, he's just saying, he's doing this going, I fucking dare you to catch me. He's doing Jimmy Savile. He's just going, I dare you to catch me. And
yep.
I was just like,
it's the fucking Spanish Fly comedy routine all over again, except for TV.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just fucking wild.
Yeah.
It's and as Megaleech points out, it is a bingo slot, if I mention Bo Burnham. But I almost the lighter version of him. I don't remember if this was early in Make Happy or if it was in the previous one, What? But it's the whole thing where he's talking to the audience and there's a bottle of water on a stool on the stage. And he's talking and he picks up the bottle of water and has a sip, puts the lid back on and puts it back on the stool. But he misses the edge and drops it and goes, oh God, oh my God, and picks it up and puts it back on the stool and takes 2 steps. And then a bit of pre-recorded music plays that went, he meant to drop that. That was not true. Everything you think's true. Art is a lie. And he's dancing to this pre-recorded thing. And it's like, what the fuck? And then he like has another drink and he drops it again, and that's like this ironic, oh my God, I did drop it that time. And he picks it up and puts it back and takes another couple of steps, and then another pre-recorded thing plays. He did that on purpose as well. Nothing is true. Art is a lie.
That's yeah. I've seen them both. But like I don't know. It's just like maybe I'm due for a rewatch.
Yeah, Make Happy is definitely a better show than What. What is funny, but he's only about 21 when he does What, and he's about 25 when he does Make Happy. And then he stepped out. Have you ever seen the movie 8th Grade? He wrote and directed a film when he was like 27, 28. And it centers on a girl. And the American education system, they have that weird thing. There's middle school between primary and high school.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
You do year 7 and 8, that's middle school. And then you go to year 9, that's high school. Yes. Because 8th grade, this girl is in her last year of middle school, and she's going to be going to high school next year. She's going to be a sophomore at high school next year. And what absolutely fucking blows my mind.
Freshman at high school.
Yeah, sorry, freshman, sophomore, second year. You're right. Yeah. So what absolutely blows my mind, like me as an adult Australian watching it going, this is a good film. I'm really getting into it. But I was reading stuff online. All these girls in middle school and early high school were going, oh my God, you fucking captured this perfectly. And I'm going, how does a late 20s cishet man capture the mood of a girl in 8th grade to the extent that they all go, yeah, you got it, man. And
he's gonna have to watch it.
No, it's good. it's got all that sort of cringy stuff in it, but without being awfully cringy. It's just a really good film. Eighth Grade is a really good film. It's worth watching.
I am going to watch it.
Yeah, it's literally
probably
just about
tomorrow because I am crashing right now.
Yeah, no, God, it's 11. I don't want to stay up too late tonight. Tomorrow is another night, and Saturday
We've got
night's
like
another night.
a full-on long weekend of
I know. We need to
partying.
fucking pace ourselves.
Because we're not young anymore.
Really not. Really
Yeah.
not. I think I've worked
real
out the next
real talk. I might be going to a queer ladies only event tomorrow night, but also I might just like not and stay here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, either way.
Because I'm not young anymore.
No. It's the whole thing. Yeah, no, I'm gearing up. So yeah, I'm going to spend. When people say like, "What are you doing a long weekend?" Well, fucking sleeping in heaps for a start.
Sleep. Yeah.
But yeah, so okay, tomorrow night another live stream. Who the fuck knows how long it's going to last? Because then there's Saturday night as well. So
yep.
I don't know. Was it last week? We fucking rocked through to 2 a.m. and we were all super awake, but we just collectively went, even though I'm not tired, it's 2 a.m. and this is stupid as fuck to still be awake.
Yes. Indeed.
So we all bowed out while we're still feeling quite strong. But yeah, no, if we dip out tonight, who knows? Tomorrow, Saturday, who fucking knows? It's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we'll chill. Either you'll be having a good queer night tonight, Dr. Abigail, or you might come in at some point. Who knows?
Or I might just like post somewhere on some website somewhere saying, in search of some queer as fuck Netflix and actual cuddles, and I could have a lady friend with me.
Yeah.
That's the shocker.
The shocker.
I prefer the spocker.
The spocker, most illogical.
I'm like at Nettie's place, so it's gonna be Netflix and actual chill, not Netflix and chill.
No, all I'm thinking of is I think last year was the first year I'd seen this sort of thing, but someone posts all these immaculately manicured nails with really long nails and whatnot, but two fingers on one hand. And going, ready for Pride. And the number of people who goes, oh, why are the two fingers not? It's like, yeah, no, you don't get it.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
Yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah.
Megaleech, you did not traumatize us.
It was great. It was such a good laugh.
I love those photos tonight. But we're going to go to a sleepy Bobos, I think.
Good night.
So you all take care.
I'm so tired.
See you another time.
I got baby hens.
Yeah. Bye for now.